That's right. They thought they were cool. Well, how cool are you today? Can y'all make up a rap song about this?
Hello and welcome to episode 11 of Get Ranked. We're doing best Nintendo game franchises. So let's get introduced to a guest. First up, what's up? We got Melee James. How's it going, dude?
Oh no!
What was that? Yeah. I am ready to rank the Nintendo games with you. Yeah, all your rankings are gonna go down because my rankings are the best representing Metroid. We got Gengar. Yeah. No one's gonna compare to me.
Cream always rises to the top, right?
It does. You know it.
Okay, next up we got DJ Axis. How's it going, DJ?
It's going pretty good. Hey, Extra, this one's for you. Hey, Cleveland, remember that time we ranked NES games?
Oh, I do. It was nasty. No Customs Revenge, but we played the Bubble Bath Babes game. Oh, Loretta smacked me that night. Something first.
All right, next up we have Melee K. How's it going?
Hello, everyone. I am ready to get into some fights over Nintendo games. It's happening.
You and me gonna get it on one-on-one.
Go, Macho Man.
Blood sports. And what's up, Zero, my co-host?
What is going on? Wow. If you missed it yesterday, we had the Legion of Memers anniversary stream, and my God, that was a hell of a show. After you're done watching this, of course, if you haven't seen it already, check it out on Rumble or YouTube, whichever. It was a nearly 7-hour stream on Rumble. We went a bit over 6 hours on YouTube. So, just huge thanks to everybody that made it, including these fine folks. It was a little bit of a trouble getting everybody in. Same before the show, I felt bad because we were trying to adhere to the times. We had some bigger guests that just were having too much fun, wanted to hang out. So we're trying to rotate people in. I know Trav from Side Scrollers was trying to get in, and I felt bad because it was his only day off, but he was having fun hanging out and participating in the chat. We were trying to get DJ in, but we could get the schedule to line up. So we've got him tonight, which is cool. And this is going to be a good time. I love Nintendo. I grew up on Nintendo. It's my probably and I tell people this, they don't believe me, but if I had to just reduce down to one console, hey, you can only have one, it would be my Switch. It would be my Nintendo games. So I'm excited about this. I can't wait to get into it.
Yeah, I think it's everyone's. I mean, who grew up and didn't play Nintendo?
There were some people.
Crazy.
There were the Genesis kids.
Jeremy.
But we've got Ryan from Legion Games calling out Jeremy. He's not even here.
Oh,
where is he?
He's here.
He'll
now.
be here next week.
Oh, there
we go.
You mean in chat? He's here. He's calling us.
Oh, he is already. Okay. Oh yeah, there he is. We got
Thanks, Dermy.
Tina, Bad Take Bojan in here. We've got Paul Hadouken hanging out with us. He's saying, howdy,
Hadouken?
howdy, happy to see my peeps Melee Games at DJ Axis.
My
And,
boy.
Yeah. God, he doesn't even want me to say how I'm doing or how things are going. Just he says, quit jerking off and let's get on with the show.
This
Well,
whole
Devil,
stream's gonna be jerking off. That's the whole point. Is we're
All of
jerking
us
off
were invited to
Nintendo
do
properties.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, Devil, we can't get started without hearing how you're doing, buddy.
Oh, me, recovering from the fall, as always. But let's go over the rules and how this whole thing works.
All right. So if you've watched us before, you probably already know. But in case you haven't, or in case you forgot, let's get into it. This is how it's going to work tonight. Devil is going to present us with every choice, and we're going to have the opportunity for some healthy debate using the designated criteria for the evening and decide where it ranks. For tonight, our criteria is going to be based on the franchise's protagonist, antagonist, playability, overall story, and instead of X Factor tonight, it's going to be Fun Factor. And that's up to us where we want to individually judge each franchise on. If we are deadlocked in a choice, Devil will be our tiebreaker. And his decision is going to be based on our best arguments, which is going to include the chat as well. So if you're in the chat, make sure you pop in there and give your best arguments if we're deadlocked. In the end, Devil will give us one last opportunity for adjustments in case anyone changes their minds prior to locking it in. And if you saw last week's episode, you knew that happened a lot with those board games. Other than that, the only rules are don't break the TOS, because the only thing more powerful than the Devil himself are our YouTube overlord and gods. So
Curse you, Susan.
well, Susan's gone now. Now we have
I will still blame her forever.
Her legacy lives on.
Yeah,
Her
she
soul is
burnt
still
it down.
there.
The guy, the new guy's just like watching over the corpse.
Yeah, poking it with a stick. You still there? Hello?
well, speaking of poking things with sticks, Devil, get that thing queued up and we'll get the reveal ready to
Yep,
rock and
there
roll.
we go. Boom. The reveal. And we will show. And there we go. And our selections are okay. We have 1080 snowboarding, and don't get mad at me if I pronounce shit wrong. What's that one? Advanced
Wars.
Advance Wars.
I gotta put my glasses on. All right. Animal Crossing, Arms, Chibi Robo?
Chibi Robo.
Chibi
Robo.
Okay, Chibi Robo, that's one I haven't played. Donkey Kong Country, we got Donkey Kong the original, Earthbound, Excite Bike, F-Zero, Fire Emblem, Kid Icarus, Kirby, Luigi's Mansion, Mario Kart, Super Mario Party, Metroid, is that Paper Mario? Paper Mario.
Paper Mario.
Pikmin, Pokemon, Punch Out, Splatoon, Star Fox, Super Mario Bros.
Smash.
Yeah. Legend of Starfy, Wario World, what's that?
Wave Race.
Wave Race, Xenoblade Chronicles, Zelda, Super Mario RPG, Mario Golf, Mario Tennis, and Mario Strikers are all of our games.
We are missing one.
Which one?
We're missing the Yoshi series.
Oh, shit.
He's been
Not supposed to
summoned.
point those- We're not supposed to point out our failures here. Okay, so let's start. We'll do it at the end. We'll just put it in. So 1080 snowboarding. Does anybody remember this game, and how do you?
Oh,
love
I
it?
remember it.
Yeah, this is a great game. If SSX strictly didn't exist, this would be my favorite snowboarding game, like by far. I don't know if anyone remembers like the character select screen, but I remember being a kid and being like, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. It's literally just like a cabin, and you switch through the characters and it moves you through the cabin. They're like playing pool and stuff like that. I love this
It had
game.
way better presentation than Cool Borders, and I think a lot of people have forgotten about Cool Borders.
Cool Borders is the king.
No.
That's the one I love. Yes.
No.
Cool Borders
You're already
top
fighting!
1080. Cool Borders has 4 in its series. 1080 has won. Miyamoto gave up on 1080 because of the glory of
1080
cool
only
borders.
needed one because it's that
Well,
glorious.
no, 1080 had
can't
two
disappoint.
because it was also on GameCube, and the
Is
GameCube
that
one I don't
GameCube?
think. Yeah, it was.
Okay, I'm gonna pretend that doesn't exist. There's only one, and it's the N64 one. N64 gang, come on, let's go. And it's the best game ever.
Full disclosure, Extra said healthy debate at the start, but I
It's
love
not
you
happening.
guys. But at least for Kay there, I'm coming for blood. You and me are we're gonna burn this house down every chance I get. But yeah, so are we taking turns or is it just all out
Are we just
slobber
yelling
knocking?
at each other? Yeah.
What
do you want?
This is part of the healthy debate.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
At first, we try to get everyone just to say what your opinion on it and stuff, and then I'll go around and ask you where you think it ranks, and then you can get into the more details of, where you act and why you think it should be in that place. So right now, just go ahead and yell at each other.
Just tell me to shut up when you want me to shut up, but I think this is one of the most impressive N64 games that exist.
I didn't
It's a
even know
really
this
good game.
was a Nintendo property. I had to look it up. I thought it was made by Activision on something. So as far as Nintendo goes, it can't be that freaking good. I never played it. But in the comparison of the glory, Extra brought it up, of Cool Borders. Cool is in the title. It can't be better than Cool Borders. So I think if it was called Cool 1080, okay, maybe it's got a chance here. But because it doesn't say cool in the title, I think it would be I would put it personally at like a C, even though I've never played it and didn't even know it was a
How
Nintendo
can you put
property.
it a C when you've never played it?
Because that's I'm basing it on the name and the little art I see there and the fact that it's not Cool Borders.
Should we have an unplayed tier?
Well, that's the void.
Yeah, if everyone agrees, we put stuff in the void. That's if it shouldn't be on the list at all. If it has no business there, so.
Oh, this game has business there. Let me tell you, this
It's
is
got
staying on the
business,
list.
just not high business. Just not high tier business. It is
Okay,
It is a mid business.
I don't know if you want me to get into where I'd place it, but I can get into that.
Well, let's see.
Here's-
Let's see first if DJ, if he has any opinion on it.
DJ, come on, buddy.
It's. I almost forgot this game existed because SSX
Thank you.
Tricky
Oh.
exists.
Thank you.
DJ, you don't like the N64 as much as most
My
people,
boy.
do you? I'm
I
onto you.
actually do. I'm kind of hit or miss on it. Some games on the N64 are great, and some are just I could really do without them.
Agreed.
See, me and DJ have a deadly alliance here. He was watching me stream until like 3 a.m. last night, and we were coordinating against UK. We knew that this was going to be happening.
Collusion.
They waited until I fell asleep, and
Yes.
then they plotted against me.
See, Jazzy Panda's got it right here. He says, "Ladies and gentlemen, now on screen, the rare sight of a healthy debate about video games on the internet. We're
Never.
only on the first one."
Never.
If I now, full disclosure, I like 1080 on N64. I put quite a bit of hours into it back in the day. I remember my friend Adam getting it. I had PlayStation, and I had two friends, Andy and Adam, who were just N64 kids. And just like the previous generation, I was a Genesis kid. They had Super Nintendo. They moved to N64. I got PlayStation, but I've always loved Nintendo. I thought 1080 was really cool, but I had Cool Borders, and they were both like great games. Then SSX comes along, and on the GameCube we got I think it was 1080. It was 1080 Avalanche.
Oh
And
yeah, I forgot about that.
yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
1080 Avalanche just it was a gimmick game, and then just kind of like I wanted more 1080, and just as I wanted more Wave Race after the GameCube, it was like, well, 1080 would have been a great fit on the Wii. As much as I don't love motion controls, it's just a shame that they shelved it. For me, as a franchise, I gotta put it in C or a D, just because when you take into the scope of all the other Nintendo franchises we're ranking this against, not to say anything on here is a bad game, just I think it doesn't belong in the void, but I would argue for a C or D, just because in the scope of the other games we're gonna be looking at, I can't
Exactly.
see it being.
I agree with
anything
you.
higher.
You got to take into account the gold that's coming up here. We
Yeah.
saw it all at the start. We're having the Marios come up. We're having
Well,
the
Paul's
DKs,
saying
Donkey Kongs.
I
Yeah.
agree with Paul.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
Skate's
and
got a good
Skate
following.
doesn't compare
Skate's got
to
a huge
Toby
following.
Hawk.
Skate
He
3
said
is still
To-
to this day one of the most desired games.
Uh-oh, you froze. Oh my God, but we're on the same internet. You froze there for a second, or I froze. I don't know, one of the two. But yeah, he said Toby Hawk. Skate does not compare to Toby Hawk or Tony Hawk, if you will. And this is the Toby Hawk of the world here. So no, like the Avalanche it is named after, it drops to a mid-tier compared to the might of Nintendo. So
Man,
I am
Toby
arguing
Hawk
for
is
the
my
C
favorite
tier.
skateboarding game.
I just imagine like Toby Huss.
So
Okay,
we've
well,
got
I
two
can.
C's so far. So where do you put it, Kay?
Okay, here's the question though: is this in comparison just strictly to other Nintendo franchises? Like, I'm not judging it as a
In the grand
snowboarding game,
scheme
but
of
more
this
so as a
list, yeah.
Nintendo. Okay.
Yeah.
If I'm judging it, okay, if it was just the N64 game, I would give it a B. But because I have to take into the account the GameCube game, and we are dealing with other Nintendo franchises that I love, I'm okay with a C.
Okay.
Yep.
And what about you, DJ?
C sounds pretty fair. I think I might have played this on a rental, but I seriously don't remember it.
Okay, fair. All right, then you are going in C. Next,
I'll pour one
up.
out for you. 1080.
Yeah. 1080, we knew thee well.
Yeah.
Okay. Advanced Wars. Now, I don't know if I played this game. I don't know.
Dude, Advance Wars is so good.
Advance Wars is really good.
Yeah, Advanced Wars is a really good turn-based strategy game. The thing about it that makes it a great series or great franchise is it has that Nintendo charm to it, where it's what is normally a high barrier style of game for people. They make it very accessible and easy to pick up and learn and play. That being said, it still isn't everybody's cup of tea, because there are some people that look for more of a challenge, and I think it does offer up more of a challenge, but it's not quite like what Fire Emblem does, where Fire Emblem is like, oh, okay, hey, you want Final Fantasy Tactics level difficulty? Here you go. But I think it's very good, and I think the new one was Reboot Camp is probably the finest entry in the series. I think it shouldn't rank any lower than a B, to be honest.
Well, how do you guys feel about it?
All right, so you have Advanced Wars, yeah? Now, Advanced Wars, just based on the name Wars, this is another game I have never played. Advanced Wars, and it's on the Game Boy Advance, I think. I'm assuming based on the name. It should automatically be an S, just because Advanced Wars. However, it is a turn-based game, and just by being a turn-based game, it is incredibly more mediocre than another game. So, you know what? For being a turn-based game, it could have been a D, to be honest. But
What is wrong with you?
because it is Wars, it goes into the C category.
You
And
know
it's
what
very
games
pretty.
I like. Are you gonna say that to my face?
Well, you're in the other room. I'll
snap.
come there right now. But yeah, it's got Wars in the title, so it's not a D. And also, I heard that they botched the Switch ports. They changed some stuff around. So even
They
if you
did,
are a
yes.
fan, they messed with reality. There goes gravity. It's dropping to a C for me. Advanced Wars.
Some point along this stream, I'm guessing Kay's gonna start looking up the Force Attorneys.
Well, you're not married yet.
Prenup, baby. You can.
Remember that healthy debate we were talking about 15 minutes ago? That's about to go out the window.
We literally were
Two
like,
games.
well, this is the last time we get invited on this channel. Which, by the way, I watched your guys's, I think it was 70s rock stream, and I was screaming at the television, screaming. And you guys were so nice and polite, and I was like, how dare you put Meatloaf that low? So anyway, I apologize in advance. I apologize.
That's why Dermy makes the Cope stream every night at I think it's like 2 a.m. He does a stream where he corrects all of my mistakes.
Good man. Good man.
I need to tune into that after this one too.
Yeah, I'll see how he tears us all apart. So, Kay, where do you put it? Where do you like this?
Okay, well, first of all, Fire Emblem is also on this list, and anyone who's ever watched my content on the channel or who's talked to me for more than 5 minutes knows that Fire Emblem is probably one of my favorite games of all time. So just on that basis alone, I have a bit of a bias against Advance Wars because I like it, but I feel like it's not nearly as good as Fire Emblem. I don't want to jump too far ahead.
Thematically, it's better.
Get out of here! What are you talking about? What are you saying?
Military, cool shit. I think it's got girls in like short.
You don't even know what's in it. How do you know it's a better theme?
Yeah,
James is
thank you,
speaking
DJ.
facts.
There we go.
Whatever.
So,
there's
thematically,
Fire Emblem 2. Get out of
It's
here.
effectively the same game, but it's got wars in the title instead of emblem, and it looks prettier, and the girls are prettier to look at.
You don't even know. You haven't seen the girls in either game.
I mean, he's.
I know how to
wrong.
use Google
He's
image
not
search.
wrong.
He is wrong.
But it does have wars in the title. I mean, it's not called
Okay,
Fire
that
Wars.
part I
It's Fire.
can't dispute.
Look at the main girl. She's adorable. You don't get that in Fire Emblem. But we're gonna get to Fire
You're
Emblem.
crazy. You're actually crazy. No, but anyways, Advance Wars is it's a decent game. Madness. It's a decent game. I think that Fire Emblem's a more polished version, so it doesn't rank that high for me. And also, they did ruin the new one with a lot of censorship and stuff like that. So that alone for me is like, I don't really care as much about this game. I'm probably, honestly, at a C for it.
C gang.
What
Not
about
because it's
you,
a strategy game, though.
C
That's
gang.
the good part about it.
C.
So I really like strategy RPGs, just like Kay. I actually like Advanced Wars more than the Fire Emblem games, but I probably haven't played nearly as many Fire Emblems as Kay. I'm just not into fantasy. Under most circumstances, there are some fantasy games I play, but normally I really couldn't care less about dudes with swords. We'll get to that when we get to Smash later.
Can you repeat
Oh,
that? You're not
yeah.
into dudes
Oh.
with swords?
Huh? What?
What?
Girls
But,
with guns, dudes with swords. Take
yeah,
your
exactly.
pick, folks.
See, James understands this. He gets
Deadly
it.
Alliance, baby.
Exactly.
It's a brutal crowd today.
Advance Wars is consistent in its art style and its delivery and stuff. I only played them on the GBA, so I don't know what they botched later on. But I think it should be higher than C, honestly. I would say B or A, but that's just my opinion.
I can settle with B. I mean, again, I said I have a bias because I'm a huge Fire Emblem mark, so I'm like all about that. But
You do tend to settle.
Hey, if Kay says B, I can go with B. I can agree with this.
what the fuck?
So we got 2 Bs and we got, I think, 2 Cs. Is anybody wanna, or is it going to me?
Well,
What's
I
your
guess
opinion,
you're
Devil?
Yeah, what's your
the
opinion, Devil?
tiebreaker on this one.
Oh God, since I haven't played it, it's
That's okay. I haven't either. And look
Do
at
you
me.
like turn-based stuff?
I do like turn-based.
Okay. Do you like guns? Do you like military type stuff?
Well, yeah.
Do you like anime? Like, that's pretty much what this game is. If you've played Valkyria Chronicles, it has some similarities. It's like a marriage between Valkyria Chronicles and Fire Emblem.
Well, the Valkyria Chronicles does have like the where you can actually take control.
Oh, I'm a bigger fan of Valkyria, but because
Yeah.
it's not on this list, I'm not gonna.
Okay, I'll put it in B. I'll give it the B. All right, next up, Animal Crossing, the game that everyone got addicted to because we were locked in our houses.
I got addicted to it before I was locked in a house. I mean, I got addicted to it on the GameCube, and that was my jam. But I think the thing that hooked me in on Animal Crossing on GameCube was the NES games and the novelty of unlocking all of them.
All right, here's why Animal Crossing is so freaking good. All right, here's why Animal Crossing is so freaking good is because I am not allowed to be a crazy person in real life. The world stops me from being a crazy person. But in my world of Animal Crossing, I can live a normal life with people that give me backhanded compliments and secretly don't like me, and I can scream and yell at them and put them in my basement torture chambers. Do you know how many times I've had a cathartic moment playing Animal Crossing and not Susan, let's say Tiffany the bear across the street just waltzes into my home. I am just waking up. I'm putting my furniture in place. And she's like, oh, it's a little messy in here, but I like what you've done with the place. Fuck you, Tiffany, you bitch. What the hell? I didn't invite you. Get out of my house. And then you try to kick her out, and she's like, oh, by the way, I missed your birthday last week. Happy birthday. You didn't send me shit. Rob the duck gave me a nice gift. What are you doing for me in my life? That's how I play Animal Crossing. I have about 300 hours in Animal Crossing, and I have screamed through 299 of those hours. The only time I am not screaming is when Rob the Bear gives me a birthday gift. Shout out to Rob the Bear. And just for that, Animal Crossing is a A-tier Nintendo game. It lets me live out my sick fantasies in a cute world.
This reminds me of the Chewbacca defense from
It makes no
South Park.
sense.
Wookiees do not live on it.
It doesn't make sense.
I guess it's lucky there's no weapons in Animal Crossing.
Oh, there's shovels.
Jeremy, do you want to challenge Adam's claim there?
Animal Crossing sucks. Oh, Dermy.
All right. Well,
I'm with Dermy.
Unironically A tier. I'm not even joking.
No.
All my opinions are true. I have the Switch. I have the Animal Crossing Switch. If you can see it, you can't really tell, but it's got the little.
You can see
that?
when you
The
shine it,
town.
yeah, like that.
Yeah,
You have to take
see?
a picture of that one because it's subtle, but yeah.
And it's got the colors on it. This is the Switch I play on every day to remind me of Tiffany, the bear or whatever that I dislike so dearly.
I would say for me it would be a B tier game because I got hooked on the one on GameCube. I loved, the aspect of unlocking the NES games, but I will say I did have a fondness for it's a chill game. Like, it's not Harvest Moon. I love Harvest Moon. I don't care what anybody thinks about that. I love Harvest Moon. There's not the same end goals that Harvest Moon has, but at the same time, if you want a game where you just kind of kick back and relax and play a game without challenge, and I know that kind of defeats the purpose of it. It's just a relaxing game. It's its own type of genre, and I appreciate it for that. And when Doom Eternal came out, Animal Crossing came out the same day.
Yes.
And that was the day before everything locked down. So I will always remember playing those two games because, the world literally changed for a span of time. And it was a nice palate cleanser to Doom Eternal. And I just kind of found kind of some enjoyment in being able to play a game and interacting with virtual people in a time where you really just weren't supposed to interact with anybody. It was, it holds a special place in my heart. I understand why people don't like it, but I do appreciate it for what it is, and I do find a lot of enjoyment in the games. I would say it's a B tier just because I do wish there were more objectives, and I wish it was a little less grindy. But at the same time, it's a game that it's like a virtual pet, but it's like a Tamagotchi mixed with The Sims. And take of it what you will.
I just, like I said, every time I think about it, I think of everyone just in their houses looking like freaking Tom Hanks from Castaway, playing in the dark. They're on their little animal farm. So, how do you feel, DJ?
I kind of agree with what Extra said about collecting the Nintendo games was a nice touch. And it's really hard to have a controversial opinion about Animal Crossing. I mean, it's a chill game. It's not really my kind of thing. Like, I remember my sister getting it for Christmas in 2003, and I would just watch her play it, but it's just not really something that I had a whole lot of interest in. So,
I want to point out
solid C.
I want to point out what Dermy said in the chat. If I want to do chores and get nothing in return, I will hang with my grandma. But imagine, if you will, that you hate your grandma and you want to vent on your grandma and lock her in the attic and surrounded by little weird totem people that will torture her for eternity. That's what you get from Animal Crossing.
Dermy is a little weird totem person.
Exactly. Dermy, you're in the game.
There is something that I think improves Animal Crossing standing for me is your ability to grief people you play it with. Like, as I said, my sister got this game for Christmas, so I logged on Christmas Eve, and there's Christmas Eve events in the game, or if you talk to I think he's like a reindeer or something. If you're the first one to talk to him, you get the best item, and then the item quality steadily gets worse as you go on. She was so pissed that I got like the really good item. Like I literally ruined Christmas by playing Animal Crossing. S tier.
Let's go.
There is no way this game is S tier. It is an overrated collectathon. It is
How
a
dare
novelty, and people obsess over this game, and I don't get it. I don't
You
mind
bought
the
me
game
the Animal Crossing Switch.
because I know you like it. You ever
I
heard of
love
a
it.
relationship where you buy someone something they like?
I don't buy
What?
you trash that you like.
What are you saying? Oh, I think Animal Crossing, I understand the appeal for some people. I think since then we've seen some improved games like Stardew Valley, for example, that adds
Animal
more
Crossing's
features. I
superior.
personally liked Harvest Moon more when
No.
I was younger. I think Animal Crossing has charming characters. I understand that part of it. I think that there's some fun to it. You get to go fishing. You have a museum and you collect stuff. Sure, okay, that's fun. Oh, look, I can write a letter to my friend. Write a letter to your friend in real life. Why are you writing
they
to
don't
these
deserve
random
letters.
animals that you'll never get to know deeply? What are you doing?
Rob
I
the
don't
bear
know.
knows me better than my best
Oh, you get
friend.
to know them deeply.
Yes, I can confirm.
I just
Come
it's
to
like
my house in Animal Crossing.
to me, this is the same logic as The Sims. It's like, why am I doing all this stuff when I already have to do it in real life? Like, is it not enough that I have to keep up with my friends in real life, do my chores, have a job, whatever else it
You don't
is
have
that
to
you
do
have to
that.
do in Animal Crossing, collect bells, pay off your debt? Like, come on. Like, why am I doing this in a
They
game?
make it seem like paying off debt's such an easy thing. Like, oh, just go
Yeah.
sell some weeds to the
Yeah.
shopkeep.
Okay,
You
you
know?
have
Collect
you
6
have,
rocks.
You haven't lived until you have dug up someone else's town and put like holes in front of their houses with the shovel.
Yes,
You
can
haven't
confirm.
lived until
I-
you've griefed in Animal Crossing.
I will say the only reason I would even give Animal Crossing a B, because in my mind it's actually a C, but the only reason I would give it a B is because I like to troll. And I get to troll in that
Exactly.
game. And that is the
Exactly.
only time I will play that game. I've been asked to play that with people before, and I'm like, this is the most boring thing I've ever done in my life.
We own 2 copies. I bullied her out of playing it. She has like 5 hours. I have like 300. Animal Crossing King. Bully your neighbors. That's the message of the game.
No, I don't know. It's such a pointless game. I'll concede to a B, but if it were just my ranking, it'd be at a C.
Hey.
All right. So
Now,
we got
we can
2
always
Bs.
go back in the grand scheme of all of this.
Yes, at the end, I will ask you guys if you want to lock it in. If there's anything you want to fight for, go up, go down, anything you want to challenge choice wise, we'll do that at the end, and we can do any adjustments before we lock it in. Next up, we
do have one thing too. We have James's lawyer, and he has an announcement.
What?
So in case this goes south, your lawyer is on the line.
Hi, I'm Saul Goodman. Did you know that you have rights? The Constitution says you do, and so do.
Only the best. Only the best.
James, show us on the doll where Yoshi touched you.
All right. Yoshi, you want to demonstrate for the nice people? He says, "Not until I see you in court, bitch." Yoshi is a. Why do I let you live with me? What the?
Stockholm
Yoshi's-
syndrome.
Yeah, it's the Stockholm syndrome.
Yoshi's is kind of salty. Arms. How do you guys feel about Arms? You like the fighting?
I've played Arms once. I think it's really silly too. I don't know why. We're Canadian, so I'm going to go off Canadian prices. It's $90 with tax to buy that game. I mean, it might have gone
Still.
down a bit now, but it should
What?
not be that expensive for that
No, it
game.
shouldn't.
All you do is this. Congratulations. This is a full price game. Get the
Yeah.
fuck out of my face. Sorry if I can't
Agreed.
say fuck on this
So you
stream.
can swear on here.
Arms is a dollar store punch out. Mic drop.
Exactly. It's not good at all. It's like the most pointless game. Like it should have been a mini game. You know,
I
like
don't
they
think
could have
it-
packaged it together with 1-2 punch or whatever. I don't know what those games are.
Yeah,
I agree with what both of you were saying, and I do think it is a D tier. However, I do want to point out that there is really attractive women in Arms, and the character models are superior to the upcoming Mortal Kombat 1. Just
Okay, yeah,
for
we can
that
agree on that one.
alone, just for
Truth.
that alone,
I want to
Truth.
say that ARMS is a D, but it has the caveat of being superior to the upcoming Mortal Kombat one.
That's
very
a
pretty
low
women.
bar to pass, though, James.
I could
Now-
say that, to be honest, I could say that for every game on this list.
Now, if you guys, like I said, if you think that it shouldn't be on here because as far as the franchise go, it's just not up to any par with the other ones, we can leave it in the void. So just remember that.
I think it deserves to be in the void. Get out of my face,
Well, I
Arms.
think
You
it
don't
also-
deserve to be on the
agreed.
Switch.
100% agree.
Yeah.
Get that shit in the void and keep it there.
I will argue
Disgusting.
for ARMS being a D because
Is
the
Arms even a franchise?
girls in the game want the D. Let's go, ARMS!
What
No,
about you,
ET is
Zero?
a better game than Arms. Like,
Yeah.
let's be real.
Wrong.
Well, I can't even say Arms is a franchise because there's only one.
Oh, I thought there were
And-
two.
No,
only
I mean
one.
the one character, was it Lei Meng? I think that was her. Lei Mei
I
was
don't even
in
know the
Smash
characters'
Brothers.
names.
Yeah, I just remember. I just remember like. God, I think it was like Spring Boy or something. Was the I
I
don't
was
know.
gonna say, is there a
can't-
protagonist in this game? Like, does he just kick people instead? I don't understand this game at all.
Yeah, it's just a standard fighting game, and it was interesting to see Nintendo come out with one. And I have the game; they did add stuff to it, and I did like the fact that they added everything additional, the stages, the additional characters for free. But I just never really felt like it was a well balanced or a strong game. I do think that it has promise if they were to do a sequel. Oh, Min Min. Min Min is the character, thanks to malware.
These are
um,
terrible names. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's just like the characters that they came out with. It just did not have that Nintendo flair at all. Like it just felt way too generic to even be a Nintendo game. I don't think it's a void, but because it's not really a franchise and it could potentially just kind of be a one and done, I do think it belongs in the void.
You know what? If ARMS was like an obscure PS2 game, I would actually say it's like A or S tier. But since it's on the
Whoa.
Are you
Switch,
crazy
nah.
too? What's going on? Why? No, it's bad. What is this panel
Let
I'm
the
on?
man speak. Let the man speak. He's my
think
partner.
I think I see what DJ's saying though.
Let DJ speak.
This ain't no
So that he
God
can back
hand,
me up
come
later.
on.
That's just pretty much it. Like if it existed at a different time on a different platform, I think it would be a better game. But because of what it has to compete with on the Switch, it's not good.
Everyone
Also-
look up ARMS Twin Tell and tell me that that deserves the void. That character design alone gets a D.
Oh
You
yeah,
know-
the one with the hair.
The
You
tea, the
know-
tea drinking girl, she single-handedly is responsible for getting me to drink tea, just because I wanted to be more like her. The
You
game's fucking terrible, by the way, but
You know what? It's
DJ, are
kind
you
of
saying? Sorry,
What?
DJ, are you saying that this game would compete with other PS2 titles? Because I don't see that.
It might be something like a hidden gem. You know, like something that really wasn't that popular even on the PS2.
Like a $5 bin kind of item.
Yeah, like something you'd pick up
Okay.
as a rental and you're like, hey, this is actually kind of good.
Got it. Sorry,
You know
didn't
what?
mean to
To
interrupt.
me, it kind of feels like, remember Clay Fighters?
Yes.
Clay
I
Fighters is
remember
better.
Clay Fighters,
I
but-
liked Clay Fighters better. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like Clay Fighters, it wasn't necessarily bad. It just like you couldn't see it being that big. It's just that game you rented for that weekend, played like, for a couple hours, and then you never really need to pick it up again. But it reminds me of that.
Exactly. And there's a place for games like that. You know, it's like the rental category.
Yeah. So I heard a couple D's, I heard a couple voids. Where do we all end up landing? I think we.
I
had
give it a
mostly
double
D's.
I'm
D.
void.
Hey, I'm void. Of course, Dermy
Void?
wants it to be S tier now.
And then DJ, I think you said D or void, right?
Yes.
Okay. So
Also,
void.
Dermy, there's no back taco in this. Don't give it an S.
Yeah, yeah.
The-
There's no taco.
I just tweeted the photo that contradicts that, I think, if I understand the meme.
Extra. You see it? You can bring it up. Show the.
You don't have
picture.
to, but that photo is
I'm
a sight
gonna-
to
I'm
behold.
going to Twitter now.
Present your evidence.
Dermy says, I don't care, Extra hates it. I like how Dermy rates things. That's a good bar. That's how
I
I'm
mean,
rating everything that K rates on this.
I gotta
I
respect
mean-
that. He's a man of conviction.
Yeah.
Oh,
That
whoa.
is-
Okay, that's a
That-
That's a legit
that
screenshot
ass
from
could
Arms.
take you out of the void for sure.
So it goes to D. Is everyone on board with?
I still stick with the void just because.
You
Again,
cannot
it
put that
was-
ass in the void, Extra. Come on. Any man cannot put that ass
it's
in
not a
the
franchise.
void.
Yes.
It's not a franchise.
I'm with
His-
Extra on this one. It stays in the void.
I don't know.
His-
That ass bounced out of the void pretty
Just-
What a
fast.
just
void
'cause-
to enter.
Just because you're trying to win over Dermy on this one, it doesn't mean you're going to get me.
Extra's wife watches this later. He has to act like he wasn't interested. What are you talking about? That's an awful butt.
It's terrible. Oh, it's so flat. What are you talking about?
Right, so it
Shameful.
stays in the void, I guess. Okay. I have no idea what this one is.
Chibi Robo, there
Chibi
was
Robo,
one
yeah.
fun game on GameCube, and then it was all downhill from there. And then even the one that was on GameCube was like one of those. It had like that early 2000s jank where I think you kept having to find batteries to keep yourself moving.
Yeah.
And I think it's either D or Void personally.
Whoa. That's rough. Okay. I mean, Chibi Robo. So I played the GameCube one. I haven't played any other ones. I also didn't beat it. It wasn't like the best game I had ever played on the GameCube, but I love the GameCube lineup in general, so it still stood the test of time for me. It's pretty much like you do random chores and stuff like that, from what I remember, and then like there's kind of like character. It's almost like side quests. Like you meet characters along the way, and then you're like doing things for them, and you like learn about
Right.
their stories. So in terms of like story, it's supposed to be a very emotional story, and where I got to it was. And it was surprising because it's like you're just dealing with some random robot. It's also like an insanely expensive game, so it got gatekeeped from a lot of people. I think now to find a copy, it's like $200, $300, which is crazy.
Oh,
So it is
yeah.
one of those like cult classic games. It's definitely not an S or an A for me. If there's other ones in the series and they weren't as good, I would trust Extra and I would probably go with C. But I think that the GameCube one does stand up. It's a pretty good game. It kind of like reminds me, we were talking about PlayStation stuff earlier. I feel like it could have been in a PlayStation lineup, and it would have done a bit better.
I'm making my if all the games were like the GameCube one, I would probably be B or C.
Yeah.
But having played Ziplash and I think I briefly owned Park Patrol on the original DS. And Ziplash was just like such a massive disappointment. I only bought Ziplash to get the amiibo on my 3DS, and
Oof,
and
yeah.
that was like I was like I kept the amiibo, but I sold the game.
Fully okay. Yeah,
Let me
off
tell
my
you
experience, I'd go
something.
C.
Let me tell you something about Chibi Robo here. I've never played it, but I have a natural born hatred for cute robot characters. I hate Wall-E. I'm so sick of Wall-E. And this is just a Wall-E knockoff. Oh, look at me. I'm a baby cute robot. I don't want you to take over the world. I watched Terminator. I don't trust you. You're not going to come in here just because you're looking adorable. And for that, it is a D tier because it is infesting the minds of people being like, oh, robot's so cute. No, screw you, Wall-E.
No.
Screw you, Chibi Robo. You are D tier because I hate adorable robots.
Please ignore.
While
Please,
he did grow into himself.
Honestly, I never even watched Wall-E.
Death Wall-E.
Oh my god! See, that's what I'm warning you about, though. That's what I'm warning you about. It's they start cute and then they murder. So Chibi Robo is going to turn into Chibi Doomsday, and just for that, I think we need to ignore the cuteness and put him in the D.
So next game's Chibi Robo T1000.
Exactly.
I would hope
Exactly.
Chibi Robo Resistance.
So
And
how
then
do you...
that game I'd probably love.
Yeah, it's the best game ever. So how do you feel about it, DJ?
I didn't play it myself. This is another game I watched my sister play on her GameCube. It looks all right. Like it's just like Kay said, it kind of has that like early 2000s, like jank to it. It's like an early GameCube title, so it's just it's not terrible, but it's not really remarkable either. And if what Extra says is true, that the series just got worse, I would say maybe C would be the highest I'd put this thing.
Okay. So I got how many C's and how many D's, I believe?
I was a D.
D, B, C.
I
Okay,
go-
K, what
you know what? I agree D.
D?
Yeah.
Okay, so we
Yeah,
got
I'd say
Ds.
D as well.
Screw that cute robot.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye now.
Okay, next up we got a
yeah.
good one. Donkey Kong Country.
S tier.
S
Do we
tier.
need a conversation?
S tier.
Is there a bad Donkey Kong Country game? I mean,
No, but there are
Donkey Kong
bad
nuts and
rare
bolts.
games.
yeah, there
but
are
that
definitely
doesn't
bad rare
count.
games, but the Retro Studios games were good. I forget who made was was King of Swing. It wasn't Retro. But I don't think that was a Donkey Kong Country game. You know, the one you played with the Congos, and it got reissued on the Wii. To
Donkey Konga?
Konga.
Donkey Konga, but not the platformer one you played with the bongos. Do you remember that one?
Oh god.
There's like two
what
of
is
them,
that
right?
called? Donkey Konga and Donkey Kong. I want to say Barrel Blast.
Jungle
Barrel
Beat.
Blast was the
Jungle Beat.
racing game.
Jungle Beats.
Jungle
Yeah.
Beat. Yeah.
Jungle
But
Beat, that's the one.
Jungle Beat wasn't a country game. But as far as the country games, you have 1, 2, 3, Donkey Kong Country Returns and Tropical Freeze. All five of those games are complete bangers. Then you have Donkey Kong Land, which I do want to consider to be Donkey Kong Country because they were, in the same style. And those games were really good too. So
I heard
S
most-
tier.
Not
Yeah, S
only
tier
is it an
across
automatic S tier, but I will go on record to say that the original Donkey Kong Country is the best old school classic platformer of all time. That first game is so perfect, and the soundtrack in that game is probably top 3 original non-licensed soundtracks of any game. That music is beautiful. The atmosphere is beautiful. Everything about my boy DK. I would almost drop at 1 point if I think about Seth Rogen, but I'm going to shove him in a closet. He does not count as being related to
He's
Donkey
movie.
Kong.
We're fine. We don't have to worry about him.
Exactly. I'm only talking the games here. S tier. The best.
yeah, Jeremy, what are you talking about? Because I said S tier before I even said anything.
I think he just
wants
saying,
to hate
shut
you.
up. Yeah, he just
He's like, move on. It's S.
I remember when this first came out, we were at, my family were at JCPenney's, and they have the game systems where you could play the games and stuff. They don't do that no more, but they used to. And I saw that, and it was just such a crazy art style compared to all the other games that were out there. It looked like a cartoon you could play, so it has fond memories just from that. So yes,
at that
definitely.
time, 3D rendered characters were just such a novelty. So
Yeah.
it really was designed to make it look like it was pushing the SNES to its limits.
Yeah.
You
Mhm.
got a great game and a great soundtrack in there. So
Oh, absolutely. Okay, the original Donkey Kong.
You
That's
Like
talking
the
Donkey Kong
Mario
Arcade?
jumping
Yeah.
Billy
Yep.
Mitchell one.
Yep.
Okay.
it's got to be an A or an S. I mean, the original Donkey Kong is a game that holds up. Donkey Kong Jr. is another great old school game that still holds up. Donkey Kong 3, I think, kind of falters, but where I think it really recovered was Donkey Kong on the Game Boy. Do you guys remember that one at all?
Those are puzzly ones.
Well, it started off like regular Donkey Kong, and then it moved into like more puzzly levels. And I guess maybe you can kind of include the puzzly games like the Donkey Kong versus Mario, but I guess that would have to be its own franchise, even though it's never been really vastly popular. But I do think Donkey Kong is a solid game. I would give it an A based off of what else is on this list. And I would definitely say it's kind of exempt from being S because Donkey Kong 3 kind of really sucks.
It's hard. It's hard to do this one but this is the game that started it all. This was the game that was supposed to be Popeye. Can you imagine if they actually were able to make Popeye? We wouldn't have had Mario and Donkey Kong possibly. We wouldn't have. We wouldn't be talking here today. I probably wouldn't be born. I'd be disappearing like Marty McFly. Not saying that my parents consummated while playing Donkey Kong, but that could be a possibility.
Now I have to do a meme where you're holding a picture of you and your parents are Donkey Kong and Mario, and you start.
Yes, exactly.
Your dad's playing Donkey Kong, and he looks over, and there's your mom, and they eyes meet, and
Exactly. If that was Popeye, they would have been disgusted in each other. They would have hated each other. So just for that alone,
if
go
Donkey
on,
Kong,
DJ.
like if Donkey Kong would have been Popeye, James would have, in an alternate reality, James would have grown up as a Genesis kid.
Oh my
True.
God, that's true. But yeah, just for that alone, it goes so high up. And then I just love the Billy Mitchell arc and all that stuff,
Yes.
the fistful of quarters and all that. Just the lore about this game and how people play it, and like sending in videotapes to try to one up people and all that stuff. This game automatically, I want to say, A tier for its legendary status. I think A tier.
okay, Kay, how do you feel about it?
Are we just specifically speaking on like the arcade ones and that kind of stuff, like that original
Yeah,
style, or
yeah,
we're not
the
talking about like
original
Donkey Kong
kinda donkey.
64 or nothing like that, right?
Yeah, no, just
Okay, just the original style arcade.
Line.
I mean, the first game is essentially 3 levels over and over again with increased difficulty. So as
4.
much as I, or yeah, 4, whatever. But like as much as I like the game, I don't think it's an S tier at all. I think probably a B, because I think they do progressively get worse as you get into that series. If you're going into 2 and Junior and all that stuff, I don't think I could consciously give it an A. I think it's like a high B.
That was the only game you were playing when we visited the arcade for like 8 hours. You were like a crack addict for DK.
I know, but it's like as a series, it's different. Like I like that game, but like yeah, at the arcade I'll play it. Is it a game that like is better than other games on this list? I don't think so. Right? Like we have things.
It's not
that are
better than Animal
like super-
Crossing, but apart
It
from
is
that,
better than Animal Crossing.
no.
Well, then it would have to go in A, wouldn't it? Because B would be the same level as Animal Crossing.
Got you there.
I don't know. I think it's a high B. I don't think it's an A. I don't know. Just based on the rest of the games in the series. The first one I like, but if we're doing it as a series, I don't think it's an A.
DJ, how do you feel about it, man?
Okay, so if you're just going on like historical importance, this one's really important for Nintendo. I mean, they went to court with Universal Studios over this game and won. So just on that alone, you know, like oh, also since James mentioned him, I just want to say Billy Mitchell is a terrible human being. That's all I got to say about him.
Yeah.
I love the heel energy though. He's a piece of shit,
he
but
really
I love
is.
me heels.
Steve Weeby's just such a wholesome dude.
He is.
Yeah,
But,
there's 2 people in this world: Weebies
And Mitchell's.
and Mitchells.
But yeah, I have a soft spot for single screen arcade games. I mean, I was an arcade kid growing up in the 80s, so I would say Donkey Kong it deserves to be A tier or maybe high B at the worst.
Okay, so
See, that's how I feel too. It's like it's not that it's a bad game. It's just that
I think we
in
kinda
the ranking of
agree, yeah.
Nintendo, they've
Yeah.
revolutionized so much since. Like, is it really like? Does it stand the test of time that much?
Well, but the problem is if you keep knocking stuff down for what it was and not taking regard to the foundation of it. Like he said, Donkey Kong, you wouldn't have Mario if it wasn't for Donkey Kong, and come on, Mario. So,
And I wouldn't be born.
Yeah. And
Oh
you're not
no.
born.
Yeah, I don't
So,
know.
All
I
right,
think
well, mostly
I think
heard
we all
A's.
think A except for K, so I say ignore her and put it into A.
Rip.
Never
Hey,
say
DJ
that
said
about
high
your wife,
B.
dude. Never say that.
All right, I can say high B just so I can use DJ later on for my advantage when things get heated. Don't worry.
Okay,
No,
so
no,
we
it's
putting in
fine,
B or
okay.
A? I'm confused now.
Follow
Okay.
your heart.
Devil,
doesn't
you
tell
make
you.
the call, my friend.
Oh, well, okay, A. Why do I have this feeling like later tape is gonna be played as evidence in court when Kay kills James? It's like Exhibit
I'm pumped
A.
up on Nitro Pepsi. I'm ready to eat the deed later.
Nitro Pep. Well, look at us rivals here. Nitro Pepsi versus Diet Coke. No wonder we're at each other's throats.
We'll just play the clip.
Hi, I'm Saul Goodman. Did you know that you have rights? The The Constitution says you do, and so do.
This thing's
Well,
hot. Good lord.
After, if she takes you out, he's free game. She can hire him to get her off the hook.
That's true. That's the game plan right here.
He only works for you till you're gone.
Exactly.
If you kill me, I'm haunting you by waking you up in the middle of the night, and all you're gonna hear is sound effects from Donkey Kong. You're gonna wake up to hearing.
Worse, Animal Crossing.
It's the worst thing possible.
All right, Earthbound. I haven't played this.
I got many opinions.
Oh no!
Got
Are
many
we gonna get
opinions.
mad at each other over this?
Oh,
'Cause
yes,
I
we are.
remember.
There's going to be
so-
some hurt feelings, yeah.
So James didn't play this game until we started dating. I played it when I was young, and I was watching him play, and he was complaining, and I was getting heated at him. It's one of the games that we played together where I watched him play, and I was like, just stop complaining. So I know we're gonna get heated at each
I
other.
forced my way through this game. Earthbound, and I assume by Earthbound we're including all the Mother games. Yeah?
Yeah.
Mother 1, 2, and 3? Okay. So I've only played Earthbound, but that's the iconic one. I think I would like Mother 3 even better, but I played Earthbound, and I got to say, if we were talking story-based games, if we were talking story, Earthbound is an automatic S tier just for its Lynchian arts, Lynchian story. It is literally David Lynch Twin Peaks, the video game, and it does it really well. Amazing atmosphere, amazing story, and kind of a must-play game. However, absolutely dog shit tier to play this game. It is almost a D tier based on its gameplay. It is a turn-based game where you're throwing yourself against a wall of unbeatable enemies and just grinding little by little by little just to get a little bit more powerful and doing like annoying puzzles. Oh my god, the teleport. You have to teleport throughout the game, and to teleport you have to run in a straight line, but if you don't run far enough you hit a wall and then you have to do it all over again. And then you have the sand area where you have to keep drinking water because you get dehydrated and you start losing health. It is a nightmare to play this game. I absolutely hate playing this game, but because the story is so freaking good, it's a C tier.
Did you just say it's a C tier?
It is a C tier for the story and the atmosphere, but it is a nightmare to play. S tier for its story.
There's no way you think that's a C tier. Are you actually serious?
Look at
Boy,
what
that's
it's competing
just
with.
toilet sounds.
Look at what it's competing with. Look what we have coming up. We have so many.
I see what it's competing with. It's not a C.
I
is
beat Dermy
not a
says James
C.
needs to get good. I beat this
No.
game because I knew that argument would be used
No.
against me. I beat this game
Also,
and I hated
you
every
can't
second of it.
You can't just sit there and praise all the quirkiness of it, but then get mad when the quirkiness hits the mechanics too. You
Video
love
games are
the
about fun.
atmosphere, but you're
If-
mad when the gameplay ties into the atmosphere.
If I want a good David Lynch movie, I'll go watch a good David Lynch movie.
Okay,
I
go
have to
watch
take-
one then. It doesn't make this a C tier.
It's got a great story, but I would have had more fun watching it than playing it. The gameplay is fucking terrible. I hate playing this.
Okay, Dermy brought up a good point. You love Animal Crossing, but don't like this. How? I
Well,
mean, I don't know if you
didn't
said
They're
think
totally
how,
different
right?
games. They're totally different games. Animal Crossing is pleasant to play, and you can murder everybody. Well, not murder
Animal
everybody, but you can
Crossing is
torture.
great in
Oh.
comparison
Jeremy's
to
throwing out
Earthbound.
fighting words.
I would
Oh,
debate that
Colin,
Animal
you
Crossing
lost
is even
me.
a game.
I don't even know what that means. I play
Animal
old
Crossing
games, and I'm
literally
confused.
should be in the void if Earthbound is a C.
No, Animal Crossing is a much superior. We're talking video games. We're talking grabbing this and going like this.
We're both talking about video games.
We're
you're
talking
insane.
Nintendo. With Nintendo, story doesn't fucking matter. Nintendo, it's about the gameplay and how fun it is to play as a game. Earthbound, great
We're
story,
ranking
great
this on
atmosphere.
story as well,
when
though.
it comes to an
I don't care.
RPG, story means everything.
Oh yeah, that's why
Yeah,
I don't play
And
them.
this is one of the best stories in any Nintendo franchise ever.
That's why it's a
I can-
C.
I can get behind what James is saying a little bit. I mean, I'm not going to be as brutal. I think it's a B.
Please be brutal.
Well, I'm not going to be as brutal in my scoring, is what I mean to say. I've played the first Mother when that came out on Switch. I went and bought it, and I haven't played through it entirely, but I get what he's saying. Like, the SNES is probably the greatest system next to the original PlayStation for releases of RPGs. And I played Earthbound in the late 90s for the first time. And I tried playing it again in the early 2000s when I was a teenager. I was a teenager in the late 90s. So I guess I tried it twice as a teenager and tried it again as an adult. And to James's point, I do think that it's not the most fun RPG to play. Like, you really have to commit to making that the game you play for a period of time, because it does get grindy and the puzzles are kind of hit or miss. But the story is great. The visuals are really something else on the system. It just, when you compare it next to something like Chrono Trigger or Super Mario RPG or any of the Final Fantasies that came out, I don't think, and again, it's a Nintendo RPG. Those are few and far between. We're ranking these amongst other Nintendo franchises. But I think if I look back to like where Earthbound was, and that's the only one I've really, really tried to play. Mother, I couldn't get into. And then Mother 3, I've never got a fan translation. I hear it's good. But just, Earthbound is the strongest entry. And I just don't think it's below a B, but I think that's kind of like where it is based off of everything else that the SNES had.
I'm just gonna say, because it sounds like a lot of you mainly played like the first original Earthbound, please play the one with Lucas in it. It is really, really good. I would argue it could be better than the first one. I mean, for me, it's pretty much on par, but that's because I have more of a nostalgia with the original Earthbound. But the story with Lucas is probably one of the best stories ever. I don't want to spoil anything, and that's why I'm not going to add it to my debate, because I really want James to play that game. And we do have a translated cart of the ones that were not translated, so James, you will be able to play those. I have that.
I'm going to be forced to play it.
Yeah, you're going to be forced to play it. But as a series, I think it's a really fantastic series. I think it created a lot of innovation for other stories where you could get more quirky and crazy, and not a lot of games would really explore that. So on a story,
it did inspire Undertale.
Yeah, and from start to finish, that story's like so cool. D tier.
For inspiring Undertale. All right, let me talk to you. I forgot a couple points here real quick. I want to quickly say,
Undertale's not a terrible game either.
Know your role here. Hold on a second.
Shut your mouth. Know your role.
Let me tell you something about Earthbound. Another issue with the game, and this is going into ports and remakes and remasters. I played Earthbound for the first time on the SNES Classic, yeah? Here's the thing. Earthbound was made at a time when you were expected and assumed that you would have the instruction manual. I was loving the game for the first few hours. I was having a ball, if you will. But then I hit to a part where there's all these like ghosty type people in a house and you don't know what the fuck to do. And I was sitting there on my day off for hours and hours and hours being like, what the fuck do I do? What the fuck do I do? What the fuck do I do? I don't want to look it up.
James.
And
Earthbound came packaged with its own strategy guide.
Back in the day.
Strategy, and you have the internet now. You could have went, ooh,
I didn't want to look it up because I'm thinking point and click adventure. I didn't want to look it up. So here's what.
You're complaining about puzzles, and you don't want to look up the solutions. Okay.
Because I didn't want it spoiled, so I thought I wanted to figure it out in the context of the game, like a point and click. Turns out that the game expects you to have the instruction manual, which is fine for back in the day. But when you're porting it to a new system, you should take into that consideration that the game expects you to have the instruction manual, because the solution to that puzzle was literally opening up the instruction manual and be like, talk to this one guy out of 50 guys in that room. It's a virtual
console release. What are they going to do? Mail it to every Nintendo member?
They need to have a little notification to be like, hey, maybe you should look at the instruction manual.
I'm pretty sure in the virtual console there's a QR code that you can
don't
scan.
They have the manual in that?
If they did, I didn't bother looking. And then I had another point and I forgot. Oh yeah, here's my other point. If we're gonna talk about Smash as a whole, Ness is one of the most annoying characters in Smash, and he is from Earthbound.
You know how many times
Earthbound?
And also, it has nothing to do with Earthbound as a game.
Yeah, because he is now in Smash, and all I have to every time I play Smash and I have to play against, if I have to play against Ness. You know all I'm hearing when I'm playing against him is TK Thunder, TK Thunder, TK Fire, TK Thunder. And I'm like, shut up.
Near a Pokemon game, all they do is Pika, 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 Pika.
Oh, wait, do you get
Pikachu
upset when people
over Ness any day?
This is fucked, man.
C tier.
God.
I don't agree with you. I think that Earthbound as a series is an A tier. I would almost give it an S, but I wish that all of them were in North America. Then I could give it a full S.
Then I thought last week people were it was a blood sport. You guys, a lot
It's also PK Hunter, James.
Whatever. I tried to repress it in my brain.
Okay, so where does everyone say it lands? I heard
A.
See,
I'm a B.
I'll settle with a
so
B.
I would
Okay.
say A, and everything Kay said about the series, I agree with 100%. I played all three. I never finished Mother, but I finished Earthbound and Mother 3. Mother 3, if it was just on its own, S+. Probably
Yep,
the best,
Exactly.
one of the best Nintendo games I've ever played, period.
Yep.
It's that
Probably
good.
one of the best games I've ever played.
And the story in it kind of hits me deep. If you know about me, if you know about me personally, I don't want to spoil, so I don't want to like give anything away, but the story in Mother 3 it speaks to me. So yeah, this one is at least an A tier.
I get
Okay.
that because the story in Leisure Suit Larry speaks to me. So
Well,
I think, you know what? I'll up it to a B.
well,
Okay,
Devil,
so
you're the
we-
tiebreaker between the two Bs and two As.
Oh, this one's hard because I agree with both. The story is immensely important, but at the same time, I do hate when you get a game where you have to grind forever, and it seems like you're getting so little back from the grind.
Okay, but what are we ranking on? Protagonist, antagonist, overall story,
That's
and
true.
like playability, right?
Yes.
At least 3 of
But the
those are
gameplay.
S tier in this series. At least 3.
Agreed.
The playability, I can say, okay, maybe an A, but if you're a turn-based fan, if you're into those kinds of JRPGs, it's fantastic for players of that too.
Also, Mother 3 probably has one of the best antagonists ever, just because you love to hate him.
Yeah.
See, whenever it's up to me, Kay's the only one making arguments. You guys are gonna keep losing the
I mean it.
ties. If
That's
you don't start fighting.
the goal of the show.
All right, Excite Bike.
Ooh,
I'm
I
gonna-
mean,
this is an unpopular opinion, but I'm going to say I think everybody has fond memories of that level creator
Yes.
on the NES
Oh
game.
yeah.
But that was like the only fun part of the game. Like the racing mechanics weren't the best. I mean, granted, it's an old series, right? They tried to bring it back with Excite Trucks, which I guess maybe you can count. I did love Excite Trucks. Excite Bike 64, I never got into. Like I know there were people that liked it. That was a rental for me, and that was like, well, hey, there's way better racing games out there, way better motocross games out there. Because that came in like, I think Excite Bike 64 came out around the time the Dreamcast had launched, if I remember correctly. So I was like
You're
already
right.
like, the Dreamcast has way better offerings, and to have a motocross game run 30 frames a second is kind of criminal.
Mm.
All
yeah,
right.
I mean, okay, go ahead, James.
No.
I'm gonna
You
yell
know
at you
what?
again.
You know what? You take this one. You take this one. Go
Okay,
ahead.
I will.
Go ahead.
Okay, I will.
Go
Yeah,
ahead.
I will.
Yeah.
Excite Bike, I think, is also another series that's very overrated. I think the original has really annoying sounds. If anyone has just played that with audio on, it's very obnoxious. So on that alone, it already like gets dock points. I think it's a very basic game. I get that a lot of games like that were basic at the time. I do think it pioneered some things in gaming, but not like that huge. Didn't have a huge impact or anything. Obviously, there's not really a story to it, so I can't really rank Excite Bike on story or protagonist, antagonist. I guess the driver.
Oh God.
I don't know. To me, this
Oh,
is like
God.
a D tier game. It's not really that interesting. Yeah, level creator was fun.
Oh my God. Okay, you just
No.
made it go up for me. You know why? You said the
What?
driver. Excite Bike is the original Ryan Gosling's Drive the game. I drive in this one.
No.
That's
Here's the thing.
ridiculous. No.
I
So is
wasn't even gonna bring this
Paperboy
into a
also
point.
Ryan Gosling?
Yes. Paperboy's an S tier, by the way. But
No,
that,
Yeah,
we're not
Paperboy's
talking about
great.
Paperboy.
The
Here's the
original
thing.
Ryan Gosling game would be Driver 2 on the PlayStation. 'cause that
Oh,
was-
that's
Exactly.
true.
Not
That's true.
Excite
Yeah.
Bike. He's on
All right,
a
let me
bike,
talk about
bro.
Excite
What are you
Bike.
saying?
Excite Bike single-handedly shows the intelligence of Mr. Miyamoto-san. Here's why. Hey, Mr. Miyamoto, we have to release a game where you're on a dirt bike. What should we call it? Dirt bike? Bike? Biking? No. Excite Bike. Oh my god! And then what are you gonna show? A guy on a bike? Yes, but with blur lines to make it look like he's going really, really, really fast. I've never played this game. I'm just looking at the cover. It's called Excite Bike. It's exciting. He has
So
blur
you're just
lines.
rating it higher out of spite?
And you reminded me of Ryan Gosling, therefore it's a C tier. I was gonna give it a D, but Excite Bike, it's got Excite, it's got blur lines, it's got Ryan Gosling. Excite. Oh, it's actually based on, and he's on a bike, so it's like The Place Beyond the Pines, actually, which is one of my favorite Ryan Gosling films. He rides a motorcycle
Come
in that.
on, this is
So-
ridiculous. There's no
so
way
C tier.
this is a D tier
tier.
game. This
tier.
almost should be a
There's so much reaching.
One, I respect it.
There's so much reaching going on that James should be a character in ARMS.
You really should.
Does that mean I get to
So-
meet the big bootied tea drinker? Because okay.
You might get beat by her, but you know.
That's the goal. That's the goal.
How do you feel about it, DJ?
So I might be a little bit nostalgic for Excite Bike. I remember when I was really young, I'd have friends come over and they'd bring over their NES games, or I'd go over to their house and we'd play theirs. And I remember I think my best friend had Excite Bike, and we spent hours on the level editor. But I do have to agree with what Extra said. It's not that fun of a game in hindsight. And some of the later installments, again, they never could recapture that lightning in a bottle. So I don't know, probably C or maybe D, worst case scenario.
Okay. And so, shout out where you guys think it should be here.
D.
C for me.
D, yeah.
And Zero, you said what?
I said D.
B. So we got
No,
B,
D is
C,
dog.
and 2
D
years.
is in dog.
Oh, D is in dog. Okay, so yeah,
I
we
think I'm
got
the only
mostly Ds
C.
then. Okay.
Yeah.
Then D it is. All right, next up, F-Zero.
Fantastic game. I would give it A tier. I think it's got awesome story, great characters. The only thing working against us, and they haven't made a damn other one. We need a new F-Zero, please. I'm campaigning that. And I also love that
Or
it
arcade
kind
game.
of, yes, and also kind of ties into Star Fox a little bit if you read into it. So I think it's really cool that there's a bit of a Nintendo crossover in that. I love Captain Falcon. I don't know. I just think overall this is a great aesthetic of a game. And I'm going to jump ahead right now and say that I think it's better than Mario Kart.
Damn!
Wow.
All right, here's the thing, though. I agree. F-Zero is a great game. It's got a great art style. It plays great. It looks great. It smells great. But here's the thing. Everyone is in agreement that they love this game. There's no complaints about F-Zero. What is it that Nintendo and Miyamoto know about F-Zero? Why have they been shackling this in the basement and hiding it away from us? They know that the world wants this, but Nintendo knows something about the F-Zero. I think it like has a demon possessed in it or something. There must be some reason that we have not gotten a new F-Zero game. So Nintendo knows something. Nintendo knows what we don't, and that scares me and frightens me. So I think F-Zero, sometimes dead is better. And I think F-Zero belongs in the grave, and we should forget about it and move on before we unleash an apocalypse. For that, I'm going to give F-Zero a C tier.
It was because there was too many bad Captain Falcon cosplays.
Exactly. It also doesn't compare to Episode 1 Racer.
So, I got to agree with Kay on this one. F-Zero is awesome, and it still baffles me why Nintendo has not bothered to make another one. Apparently, they said that they couldn't figure out what to do with it, but it's like, just make it like Wipeout or make it like combat racing. That would be awesome.
What is the confusion on what to do with it? Like, you just make another game that's the same, essentially.
Right.
Add a few extra characters and like whatever, and you're good.
The only thing I could think of
Levels.
is that maybe they're thinking that it's conflicting with Mario Kart sales. You know, since it's just
There's
another
no
racing
way.
game.
Oh
Yeah.
no, the Wii Mario Kart that we keep getting. Oh,
But see,
awful.
they even put F-Zero tracks in Mario Kart, so there really is no excuse anymore.
I think the Nintendo logic that they're going with is pretty much Nintendo always tries to innovate. And so the Nintendo mindset is the GameCube one is great. Just go play the GameCube one. We don't need to make the same game twice. And they can't think of a way to change the formula.
The GameCube
Therefore,
one
they're
sucks.
Oh, I've never fucking played it.
It's terrible.
They were kind of like, I think that's their thinking though, is like the old ones are fine and we don't have anything we can change with that, so we're not going to make a new one for the sake of making a new one. I think Nintendo's mentality is really against just kind of releasing the same game without a new. Yeah,
Well,
but
there's
all
so
the
many
Mario
Mario
Karts do a different. They do some kind of a twist. Every single one has like a new
Barely,
thing to it.
dude.
Barely, but there's something. And F-Zero, they're like, eh. This is why I
Okay,
like
add
my
an extra
theory.
nitro to F-Zero. There you go. You got a different
Add Vin
F-Zero-
Diesel.
F-Zero GX did ramp up the speed. It was a 60 frames a second game on the GameCube, and it went really fast. I think it had the most amount of racers on screen in any of the franchise's entries. Maybe I'm going to eat my words on this, but I think given the popularity of Battle Royale now and the way that the F-Zero mechanics work, because it's like you do laps and the people that are, in lower positions get eliminated from the race. Like if they brought F-Zero back today and did like 100-person Battle Royale style race.
Dude, that would be so sweet.
I would
think
buy
there's
it day
a
one.
huge, yeah.
By the way,
$100, I'd buy it.
By the way, F-Zero and F-Zero X were also 60 frames a second. So
Yeah, they and the Game Boy Advance games were great too. So just it surprises me that it fizzled out. Going back to like what I said about Donkey Kong Country, there's not a bad entry in the F-Zero line as far as I'm concerned. They could even go back and do like kind of like a campaign and give you the option to tweak your I don't think you've ever really had the option to like tweak your racers. Make it more like I think DJ you were saying this, make it more like Wipeout, where you have some modes with weapons.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because that's the thing about F-Zero and Wipeout. Big differential from Wipeout and F-Zero is the lack of weapons. And then there is that one company. Oh god, they did the Tourist game, but they also did Fast RMX. Did you guys play that? That game was like a love letter to F-Zero, and it's like, Nintendo, why aren't you making a new one? For me, it's a solid A, and I see so much potential for what they could do with it. There's no bad entries. It's a shame that they haven't given it any love on the Switch, because, I think it would be right at home there. And again, like, I don't really think, saying like, well, they haven't done anything with it is that big of a detriment when they haven't done anything with it, but they haven't done anything bad. Because like when we get to Star Fox, I'm gonna have to weigh Star Fox Zero and the DS game against the franchise as a whole.
We're gonna go at it. No, but it's not like that actually knocks it from an S to an A. I was more joking, but like, I think that there are better racers out there. Like, I guess in comparison to Nintendo racers, sure, it's an S to me. But like, I really love Diddy Kong Racing. So in my mind, Diddy Kong Racing is an S tier game, and F-Zero is an A tier game. But it's a high A. It's a game that I'm like, this is fantastic. You can sell me this game like you do with Mario Kart, and I would buy this game every year. I don't want to buy Mario Kart every year.
I like the Mario Kart better. I like the Bing Bing Wahoo. I think F-Zero's got great music, great style, but I don't know. I think I side with Nintendo on this one. I think it's a C. I think if they made a new one, it would be a little lackluster, a little mediocre. And it's a good game. It's a very good game, but there are so many good Nintendo games that it's going to be going up against in this list. And if I'm thinking where it ranks in the world of Nintendo, I think it is a middle of the ground C tier, maybe a B tier. But I think it's like a high C personally. And there's other games like it. Yeah, and there's other games like it that are better games that have the same feel. I got to say, the best racer ever is Episode 1 Racer, and it's still fucking perfect, and it's way better. It's way better than It's way better than any F-Zero game. It's a new lap record.
I love Episode 1, and I love that game. I am the biggest Phantom Menace fan you'll ever meet. And I don't agree with you. I think F-Zero is a way better game.
No, Episode 1 Racer is better than any F-Zero.
F-Zero was the king of futuristic racers, and when F-Zero 64 came out, that was like one of the entries on N64 that just was a phenomenal update on the 64. That was the problem on the 64, is like updates in that early part of the 3D era, they were either hit or miss. And like, talking about Excite Bike 64, big miss. But you get to F-Zero, it's a rare N64 game, not rare developed, but that runs at 60 frames a second, that like completely updated and made everything about the SNES game better. Then you get to the GBA games, you get to the GameCube games, the arcade game, GameCube game and the arcade game, and it's like, wow, the future looks bright for F-Zero, and then it just stops. So I think it went out on top, but at the time, like, I don't know if you guys remember Extreme G.
I remember Extreme G.
Yeah,
and that was a cool futuristic racer, but I just would come back to F-Zero every single time, and then I've been a Wipeout fan just because we don't really have anything like F-Zero or Wipeout, and futuristic racers have dried up. So maybe that's part of like why Nintendo has stopped, is that they don't see the market for futuristic racers, or they just haven't been able to get the ingredients right where they feel good about releasing a new one.
You know what? Every other futuristic racer out there is just an F-Zero clone. I'm done.
Yes. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, we
A
play
tier.
the other ones to cope, but I still think it's an A tier. I don't think it's quite S.
No,
Agreed.
it's C for me. Doesn't have Dud Bolt, doesn't have Toy Damper, doesn't have my boy Ebby Endicott or Fud Sang. Sebulba, come on now. I think it's a great game, but compared to other Nintendo games, it is watering down that high tier that we're going to be getting to very soon. So for me, it's a C. It's a C, which is respectable. It's a respectable C.
It's an A.
2 A's and a C. DJ, where do you land?
I was in the A tier.
Yep. Wisdom of the crowd.
Oh, good.
Fire Emblem, let's go. Best
Let's
game,
go.
S tier. That's it. Done.
Fire Emblem, let's go.
S tier, best game.
D
Especially
tier.
Look at the one that's on the icon. Fire Emblem 7, the first Fire Emblem to make it to North America. Beautiful story. Best antagonist, best protagonist, best story. Gameplay, you like tactics. It's the best fucking tactics game. That's it.
Oh, wait, there is 2 Fire Emblem games I like, C tier.
Oh, the Warriors games?
Yes, it has 2 amazing games
Okay.
that transcend the genre, and that is
If
the
anyone
Warriors
knows a
games.
lawyer out there, I might need the lawyer now.
I can't play the Saul Goodman clip a third time.
Get me Saul's rival or something.
Fire Emblem automatically, as we alluded to with Advanced Wars, it is not as good as Advanced Wars. However, 2 of the games in the series, Fire Emblem Warriors, is more enjoyable to play than any Advanced Wars, despite Advanced Wars having superior character design and aesthetic. If there is an Advanced Warriors, imagine that. There's a title. Nintendo, hire me. Advanced Warriors, Advanced Warsiers, if you will. Then Advanced Wars would probably go up to an A tier. But Fire Emblem Warriors is good. It gets a C tier from me. All the turn-based ones are meh, and the setting is meh, and it's very anime-y, so meh.
Okay, wait. I want to respond to that comment in the
You might-
chat.
You might want
About-
to wait for my comment because you'll probably
Okay,
be even
DJ,
more
go.
mad.
Yes.
Why,
Go,
why
please.
is it there's like 11 billion Fire Emblem games, but we only get like 3 F-Zeros? What kind of universe is this?
It's a sick world.
It really is. I don't outright hate Fire Emblem, but it's not my thing. It's really not. Also, I think Kay, you would even agree that some of the later Fire Emblems are just trash.
Three
I
Houses.
don't like the new Fire Emblem. True, I don't like Three Houses. I
But-
don't
but I-
mind the newest one.
I will agree with you, 7 is so good.
6 through 10 are the best part of the series. But
Yeah.
it's like if you were talking about Final Fantasy, a lot of people put Final Fantasy in an S tier, even though not every single one is good, because there's a lot of good, and it's fan-fucking-tastic good. It's not just, it's all right. So
I would say Final Fantasy is better than Fire Emblem, though.
I'm not getting into that debate because we'll be here for 5 fucking hours.
We really
so no
would.
way, we're not getting that debate.
Okay,
But I'm
fair
just
enough.
saying, I can give Fire Emblem an S tier, but still agree that there's some that are not as good in the series. Now, in terms of this, it took 7 games to get to North America. This is a common problem that happened during that era of gaming, where the connection between Japan and North America, there wasn't enough conversation on what they actually thought the audience would like here. Fire Emblem 7 did really well here, and the reason why it did well is also because they put Roy in Smash Bros. So that was Japan's way of slowly inserting a character. It's not that the series wasn't good. You talk to anybody that went back and played the other ones, they're fantastic too. It's just that Japan didn't know how to break into the Western audience and didn't realize how receptive we'd be to it. So I don't think that's a proper argument against it, personally.
Didn't the developer almost go bankrupt too?
Yes, during the 3DS one, they ended up making that like the best game they possibly could. They put all their resources into it because they were worried that that would be their last one. That game did gangbusters. Did so well that they continued.
Fire Emblem characters have horse feet. What the hell is up with that? The 3DS one has horse feet. They're horse people. That weirds me out, and
we're not
scares
basing
me.
this on graphics, are we?
It's really weird. Why do they have horse
If we
feet?
were ranking this on graphics, I wouldn't even give it an S. I
They
think
don't
it doesn't
acknowledge
look
the
the best
horse
all the
feet.
time.
There's horse feet in Fire Emblem on 3DS. It's really weird. It's unimmersive. I can't play it. Why are they galloping? Where all
You've
their
never
parents'
played
horses?
the best ones in the series.
I haven't
You
played
need
any
to-
of them except for Fire Emblem Warriors.
It's not a Fire Emblem game, by the way.
Yeah, it is. It's the best
No, it's
ones.
not.
That's why
It's
it's
not a
C tier.
Fire-
It's
is
the
it a
only
tactics
reason.
game? No.
It's the only reason it's a C tier.
Can I say Final Fantasy Tactics is the best Fire Emblem game?
No, it's a Final Fantasy game.
No, you can't. No. Just this is all garbage. I don't know what I'm hearing right now, but this is
Horses.
This is the
Horse
worst
feet.
opinions I've ever heard in my life. This is awful.
Everyone go look up 3DS Fire Emblem horse feet.
All of you have
safe
motivated me to
search
make
off.
sure on the Melee Games channel I finish my no death run of Fire Emblem. I have to,
previously
just to
searched
prove to
horse
all
feet.
of you how fantastic this game is. And series. S tier.
Alright. Okay, so you have it S tier. Where does everyone else put it?
I'm not a fan of the Fire Emblem games, so it's not really fair for me. Because again, I appreciate what they are, but I'm not a fan of like the turn-based tactics style games that much. I've just never really been able to get into the Fire Emblem games, so I don't really think it's fair for me to give them a score. But from my personal taste, the fact that I can appreciate them for what they are, but I'm not a fan. It's a B for me. I'd put it right there with Advance Wars. I know
Quentin
that
Tarantino would hate this game for the feet alone. Therefore, it's got to be a C tier.
Okay, so we got S, B, and
This is so
C.
stupid. Oh, the series isn't good because one game they didn't draw the feet properly.
Yes, I'm gonna be the Quentin Tarantino representation here.
I'm gonna go with B tier on this one.
You see Dermy?
All of you hurt my soul. What did Dermy say? Sorry.
Dermy's
He says
inviting you
that
onto
they
the
want to come
mayhem.
on Mayhem tonight to do this
Okay.
struggle session.
Yep.
Are
Let's
you
do
gonna
it.
be up that late? It's very
What time?
late.
Well, they're on the West Coast.
Yeah.
Also,
If-
just on the side note, with the Donkey Kong one, were we including Donkey Kong 64 in that?
No, because it's not a country game.
Okay,
where does
fine.
that
Then it
one
can
go?
stay in S.
All
If
right.
it was Donkey Kong Country 64, then I would have had a.
So we got S, B, and C for Emblem. DJ, where are you going?
I'd say at least a B. I mean, it's not my thing, but I know it's popular and it's there, and I do like strategy RPG, but I don't want to like give it a bad rating just because of that.
So where do you
Oh.
think it should be?
I've
At
decided-
least B tier.
I'm gonna
tiers
scream
for-
about this at the end. That's fine. That's fine.
We got-
Put it wherever the hell you want. I don't care
TVs.
because when we're trying to fix the ratings later, I'm gonna scream later. I'm saving my energy for this.
Okay, what's
Continue.
better, Fire Emblem or Barbie's Horse Adventures?
Fire Emblem? Are you crazy?
Wrong. Better feet in Barbie's Horse Adventures.
Oh my god! By the way, I looked in chat what Dermy was saying about Final Fantasy versus Fire Emblem. I think there's some Final Fantasies that are better. I think there's some Fire Emblems that are better. But if
Yeah,
you want me
the-
on the show tonight, we'll talk about it.
The third-person shootery Final Fantasy, that's the good one with the guy that has an edgy trench coat. I like that one. What's that
This
one?
guy,
Yeah.
King Cobra.
All right, Kid Icarus. How do you guys feel about Kid?
Wanna love it. Now there's technically 3 entries because they did a 3D remake. Well, actually, no, there was a Game Boy Kid Icarus that was fairly decent. First game, just it has not aged the best, especially when you compare it next to Metroid. The movement of the character Pit just is a little floaty. The attacks just it's got the NES era jank where you can't exactly attack where you want. There's no crouch attack. Uprising was a surprisingly decent game, but it was kind of bogged down by the fact that they made what should have been a console game on the 3DS. It should have had twin stick, one stick for movement, one stick for the camera. They came out that awkward thumbstick for the 3DS. I don't know if y'all remember it. And then the new 3DS had a little nub. It was just the controls made what should have been a 9 out of 10 game down to like a 7. I can't put it in D tier, but I definitely want to put it in C personally.
See, okay, what about?
No, I don't agree with that at all. I don't agree with that at all.
Oh.
Have you played all the Kid Icarus ones, or are you just talking about the first one specifically?
Well, the first
He was
game
talking
and,
about the 3DS.
and Uprise, or the one that came out on 3DS, and then there was a Game Boy one that I don't really remember playing outside of an emulator.
The Game Boy one was okay. The first Kid Icarus I would compare to like a Castlevania. I don't think that it's better than Castlevania. I definitely think Kid Icarus was worse. But I think the 3DS game is fantastic. If I'm judging it on the 3DS game, I would give it like more of an A or a B.
But that's what I was saying. It's like I think that the 3DS game, if it had better controls, would have been a 9 out of 10. As it stood for me, it was kind of like a 7.
You know why the 3DS game sucks? Here's why. The 3DS was already a game. If you broke your controller on the 3DS, you've broken your system. And the Kid Icarus, I'm having a stroke talking about it. The Kid Icarus game on the 3DS, it's so bullet hell schmuppy, which I love. But to put that on the 3DS with that analog stick, I was hearing reports of people accidentally breaking their analog sticks. And guess what? You break your analog stick, you've broken the whole system. That is a huge point against it. I won't touch that game like a 10-foot pole. That's like a 3DS plague. And then here's the other problem. I'm an old man. I have Alzheimer's. I want to play a Kid Icarus game. I hear the name Kid Icarus, and I'm like, I want to play as the character Kid Icarus. What do you mean his name is Pit? What do you mean? That's a terrible name for a character. Pit? I wanted to play as Kid Icarus. That alone makes it go down in the rankings because I want to play as Kid Icarus.
You don't want to play as Pit.
But it has a great theme song. Great music. But games.
That's not the theme song. That's the Underworld.
Yeah, what are you singing?
What is that? What is that? What am I singing?
That's the music for the first world in Kid Icarus 1.
Yeah.
That's not the title screen music though.
Oh, whatever. It's got that good song. I don't even know what the title, whatever the title music is, but it's got a good song. It's got terrible naming, and it'll break your system because I'll play it too hard. I tend to play with myself too hard. Just for that alone, I want to give it a C tier.
Now, real quick, Internet Crusader, Kid Icarus Uprising has not come out on the Switch. I would love it if it did because that was a game that needed to be on console.
I would love to play that.
It was not at home on the 3DS. In my personal opinion.
It's one of the top 3DS games you'll play, but you'll never play it, just like A Link Between Worlds, you know? Like, I think it's a really good 3DS game. It's just, unfortunately, until they put it on the Switch, people won't understand the appreciation for it. But storyline, antagonist, protagonist, fantastic. Very deep story. Very good. Gameplay I can understand, but like, I mean, James's argument was what? Oh, you can maybe break your console. Okay, well, you can maybe break your hand playing Mario Party. Does that make it Mario Party?
My hand will heal. My hand has healing abilities. My 3DS does not. I don't care about breaking my hand. I'll break a limb for a good game. I'm not going to break a whole damn system. You just buried your own argument. That's like a $300 system. C tier.
So I only played the 2D Kid Icarus games, and that includes the one on the Game Boy. I know about Uprising, but I never played it. I've only watched videos on it. Didn't that have some weird way to play it with the stylus too, or something?
Yeah, if you didn't have the analog, I mean, it was bundled with the analog nub that basically gave your 3DS a right stick. But I recall you could use the stylus in its place. Like it came with a stand as well.
Yeah. So all right, I'm gonna have a James take on this one. I'm sorry in advance. If you release a game that has to come with components for you to play your game, then it's not a good game. It's just not.
Thank you.
Well, and I don't know. Again, I don't think Kid Icarus is terrible. I do have some wonderful nostalgia for that, but I would say B for me on this one.
So we've got what B, C, and what was the other two?
So
I mean,
would
I'm not
say-
super passionate. I'm a B or a C as well.
I think C. It sounds like C, but there's also a B in there.
Yeah,
I think we
I'm
had
okay
two
with a
C's
C.
and a B.
So 3 C's and a B.
Oh, it's two
You-
C's.
Yeah, C sounds fair.
Okay. Kid Icarus goes in C. All
baby.
right. Kirby. That little pink
S
I
tier.
love
S
these games.
Supreme.
Yeah. I just when I played the shit, what was the one that came out last year? The 3D Kirby.
The Forgotten Land.
Forgotten Land. Yeah, when I played
So
that
good.
reinvigorated my love of Kirby. It was like, this is the Kirby game I've always wanted. And there's not really any bad Kirby games. I think the only Kirby game that I don't think is aged all that great, and it's not because it's a bad game. It's just because the mechanics, the things that Kirby is famous for, aren't in it. It's the original Kirby game on Game Boy, because he doesn't have shape-shifting ability. You get to that first Kirby game on NES. That is like an S tier game.
Epic
the
Yarn is
SNES.
dog shit, by the way. I'm just saying.
What?
I hate that game. It's so
Arrest him.
terrible. It's so terrible.
Arrest him.
That game is for literal babies. Okay.
I'm a literal baby. I want him.
I
arrested.
mean, I saw you play Yoshi's Island. I know this, but still.
That
I like
is
Epic
Epic
Yarn.
Yarn is so fucking good. You have inspired me. I'm gonna stream that whole game out of spite. I fucking love that game.
I don't love the what's the game with the rainbow where you draw the rainbow lines?
Oh, the
and all?
claymation one, yeah.
No, not the claymation. What or was it claymation?
Rainbow's
It was the
Curse or something.
yeah.
it was like
I don't- I
claymation.
don't-
Isn't it called Color Splash or something like that, or is that a Mario
Yeah.
game?
I don't even consider those to be. I just consider those to be spin-off games. I think Kirby's Tilt and Tumble is a great game. Even that Kirby golf game was pretty awesome. Kirby's Air Ride was fun. That's an overlooked, underrated. He's had a lot of great spin-off games.
I was gonna say Kirby spin-off games are almost S tier.
Yeah.
Block Ball is really good. Avalanche is nice, even though it's just
Yeah.
Puyo Puyo.
I agree with Internet Crusader. Kirby deserves its own tier above S. If I can talk about Kirby for a second, Kirby is supremely good. There's a stupid amount of Kirby games, and all of them are amazing, with the exception of Kirby's Dream Buffet. Nintendo, you had a chance to make the one Battle Royale game I cared about, and you stopped supporting it. What the fuck's wrong with you? But every Kirby game is still good, nonetheless. They all have great music. You're an adorable little eater of worlds. You kill everything. You exist in this nice little happy world where nothing's going wrong, and then Kirby's like, I'm gonna fuck your shit up. La 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 la. Murder, death, chaos, and destruction. I love Kirby. And Kirby holds a special place in my heart because it is the game that got me banned from Miiverse on the 3DS. Here's what happened is I was playing Kirby Triple Deluxe. I play most of the Kirby games, but there's just so many of them. I fucking love Kirby, but I was playing Kirby Triple Deluxe. And if you've played Kirby Triple Deluxe, it has the extra suck ability, if you remember. The feature of that game was Kirby sucks, but he sucks. He sucks a lot. And there's this part of the game where there's pink ridged eels, pink, big, thick eels that are plugged in tubes. And you have to suck them out. I'm not joking, by the way. You have to suck out these big pink ribbed eels out of these tubes. And
James would like this part.
All I did, hand to God, was I screenshotted mid-suck. So Kirby just is mid-sucking this pink eel. You can't see the eel's face or his tail. And it's just mid-suck Kirby. And I uploaded it to the Miiverse. And the only thing I wrote was I put the screenshot and I just wrote Brazzers. And I got a ban. Not joking. Not joking. It confirms for me that Nintendo knows
beautiful.
what Brazzers is.
Okay,
Kirby
S tier.
is S tier.
S tier. I have no words after that.
Dermy was sold when you said suck worms. It's just
Also, Kirby Superstar, best game ever.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
That's
Kirby
the SNES
Superstar
one,
is so
right?
good. Yes, that's the SNES one.
Top 5
did-
co-op games of all time. That one. It's
Definitely.
amazing.
That Kirby deserves to be S. He just does.
Okay, what about the other two? We got two S's. How do you
I
guys
said
say?
Oh, I'm S tier. Yeah.
Oh, both S's? Okay, then Kirby goes into S. All right, next up, Luigi's Mansion.
Oh
baby. Here's why. You want to know why I was rating everything C's? Because we're getting to the gold now. S tier to Luigi's Mansion. I don't like survival horror games like Resident Evil and Silent Hill and all that stuff. I want the spooky Mickey Mouse, boo, I'm a ghost horror. Luigi's Mansion delivers that tenfold. I fucking love this series. 1 and 3 are literal masterpieces. Luigi's Mansion 3 on the Switch is probably in my top 3, if not top 2 games on the Switch. They are amazing Metroidvanias. The atmosphere is unmatched. It's Luigi who is incredible in his star showing. Everything oozes gold from these games. The one little nick is that the second game, which is getting ported to the Switch, is kind of too hard. I beat it, but it's like compared to 1 and 3, they didn't have checkpoints, and it's like you have to beat the whole fucking level, and if you die right at the end, go fuck yourself. You're right at the beginning, and so there's a lot of frustration in the second one. I hope with the Switch port they add in checkpoints, because it is a biatch. But with that small caveat, all 3 games are fucking amazing games, amazing Metroidvania games. It's an S tier for me.
Wow,
You're overhyping Luigi.
I
No!
didn't know Dark Moon was coming to the Switch.
Yep.
It's an A tier for me. I have a lot of fond memories with the game. I got the GameCube on day 1, and I was excited for it. I still, that's probably the best experience I've ever had with console launch. I remember lining up at Best Buy, getting mine, and I picked up Rogue Leader and Luigi's Mansion, and I couldn't put either of those games down. And it was just kind of, and then I got Super Monkey Ball a week later, so I had like a trifecta of amazing games and very different games. Luigi's Mansion, I agree with everything James said. It's like a survival horror style of game. Like even the way Luigi would open the doors, he had so much character. The way he would hum, just going through room to room to room. You know, it kind of has like a survival horror and a point and click adventure vibe, which I guess is kind of like the early Resident Evil games. And just every ghost encounter was a lot of fun. Luigi's Mansion 3 really upped the ante and evolved the series, because Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon was just more, it was like, hey, here's, what was it, 4 or 5 different little mini mansions?
Yeah, it was a bunch of like areas, because it's limited, because it's on the 3DS. So instead of having like a big mansion, it was like levels in mansions. So it was like you're exploring this floor now, and it's kind of a biatch to play, if I'm being honest, but it's still a good time. I'm really excited for that Switch port if they fix stuff up.
I want Luigi's Mansion 1 to get a Switch port. It would be
Same.
nice to have them be like on one cart, because they did do Luigi's Mansion, a remake of it on 3DS, and it was a downgrade in my opinion.
It actually is, yeah.
Yeah.
So you were saying, Kay, you were saying he's overblowing it, so it's not an S. What is it for you?
I will overblow Luigi any day of the week.
It's an A for me. It's an A for me, though, Devil. So
Yeah.
I think the game is an A tier game. Look, I think it's a fantastic game. I'm personally really in love with Luigi's Mansion. I just think, like, overall, the Mario Bros. Series itself is a bit better. So, in my eyes, like, I wouldn't put it in the same league as, like, Donkey Kong Country Kirby. I would put it in the same league as Earthbound, F-Zero, like, what we have in the A tier. It's not that it's a bad game, just like I love F-Zero as well. It's just that, like, there's no S factor to me.
Near flawless. That third game was literally my game of the year, and I think it's only second to Odyssey on the Switch for me. It's a really great series. Game.
It's got a really great, I mean, obviously, a really great protagonist. I love Luigi. I love the story in that game. I think
clearly you don't love him as much as I do.
And you know what?
Apparently not.
One thing too, I have to toss in that I just thought of now is when Luigi's Mansion first came out, it was the closest thing we had to a good Ghostbusters game.
Yes, it captures that feel so perfectly.
And then when Ghostbusters the game came out, I was like, I kept drawing comparisons to Luigi's Mansion. I love Ghostbusters the game. That is one of my favorite movie licensed games, and just like the way that the ghost catching works, it's like, man, this reminds me of Luigi's Mansion. That's why I like it so. And it was like also like the closest thing we'll get to an actual Ghostbusters 3.
Damn.
I can talk like for 3 hours with you, buddy, about that Ghostbusters game. It's incredible.
Yeah, agreed.
Go.
You know, I can't really make a better point on this one than what Extra and what Kay have said about it. I played a lot of the first Luigi's Mansion, but at the same time I was also playing like big boy survival horror games, you know, like Silent Hill and Resident Evil. It's a good franchise. I think it definitely deserves a solid A rank. Definitely
It's
very
like-
solid.
Ranking it an A is not insulting it by any
No.
means. It's just
Yeah.
saying that it's like it's a really great game, but like there are games that I'm way more passionate about that should be
Yeah.
in the S tier. And like I would almost feel like I'm insulting games like Donkey Kong Country and Kirby by saying Luigi's in the same league as it.
Luigi, he deserves to be up there in the ranks in my eyes. Gold, all only 3 games, but all gold. Except 2's a bitch, but fun.
It was like
Alright.
Metroid Prime 2.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Next up, Mario Kart. How do we feel about Mario Kart?
Mario Kart's a C.
What?
Oh,
Why?
There are so many better kart racers that exist in the ethos than Mario Kart.
Diddy
Oh,
Kong
God.
Racing, boy.
I hear
Diddy Kong
something out there. I think
good.
Miyamoto is knocking on our door, demanding blood from you. Hold on, I gotta calm down, Miyamoto. I'm coming. No, she didn't mean it.
So, somebody's not getting invited on G&G.
Now, I need to like put James's head on Chris Chan when he thought he was talking to Shigeru Miyamoto. Oh, hi, Mr. Miyamoto, Sam.
You know, I completely agree with Kay though. Mario Kart is good, but it's like the Skyrim of racing games.
Yes,
Just-
thank you.
Just get
It's
it
like,
out of here already.
Who
God.
cares? Like,
I-
okay, congratulations, you have all these Nintendo characters in your game. It doesn't automatically make your game good. And I'm
Exactly.
sorry, but you're still packaging the Wii U Mario Kart to me, which was barely an improvement from the Wii Mario Kart. The last innovative Mario Kart was Double Dash. And I love Double Dash.
Yeah, Double Dash
There's
is
just
probably
so
the
many better
best.
kart racers.
Yeah, I would say Diddy Kong Racing and Sonic All Stars Racing Transformed better than Mario Kart.
Y'all are hurting
Diddy
my
Kong
soul.
Racing is like the best racing kart racer
We
there
had
is.
so much fun playing Mario Kart.
I didn't play it.
I just
Whatever.
want to
You
say
were
for the
there.
record, yes, we did a Mario Kart community event for Melee Games, and I did that for all of you. I did not do that for myself. I was
It
sitting
was
there
a
being
labor
like,
of love.
I play what the people want, but at the end of the day, I would have much preferred. But you can't play Diddy Kong Racing in the same way, right? Like Mario Kart's more accessible, and I think it deserves points for that. If Diddy Kong Racing was able to do that same thing, I would 100% be like, no, we're never playing Mario Kart as a community. We're playing Diddy Kong Racing together.
You, you know what? As overhyped as it is, I do think it still deserves a high place just because of the fact that it's so
Yeah.
so many people can play it, especially on the Switch.
I'll say this as, like I said, my opinion doesn't matter. But one thing I have to say is I played plenty of Mario Kart. My favorite is still the battle on the original, where you could go around and you had the 3 balloons going around you. I love that you, if you jumped right, you could jump the walls right as they're shooting the red shells and everything. That was my favorite, but I'm an old dude, so you know.
You're
No,
not
I
old
think
as me.
that is a good Mario Kart. Like, I do think there are good games in the series. I think that just, we were talking about F-Zero and how, like, why haven't they made a new and all this kind of stuff. Maybe it's because they're worried they're going to start treating it like Mario Kart. I'm sorry, but, like,
Well-
as somebody who plays a lot of video games, Mario Kart does not stand out to me. I
I
get
have
why
an
people play
argument.
it, but
I
it's
have an
like...
argument for Mario Kart 8. And
Okay.
it's like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You look at how long stuff like World of Warcraft's been around. I mean, granted, they have overhauled WoW a lot, but actually, I think a better comparison is Counter-Strike, right? Counter-Strike is still played. Counter-Strike Go is still played. Team Fortress 2 is still played. They kept adding stuff to it. Mario Kart 8 evolved from being... Mario Kart 8 Deluxe evolved from being a Wii U port to something bigger. It's just kind of a celebration of all of Mario Kart. And yeah, they did add a ton of characters. And you can say, well, having all the Nintendo characters in there doesn't make it better. But it's just kind of like Smash Ultimate, where they're just like, we're going to throw the kitchen sink of this bad boy. We're not ready to innovate over it yet, but we're going to give everybody anything they could possibly want to make this like the really definitive version of Mario Kart. And to me, I love Mario Kart 8 because there's so many different ways to play it. The only thing that's missing, in my opinion, is Black Fortress. Hopefully there's still time, before they stop adding stuff to it. But it's also made all the better by the online component and how many people can play it. And I'm at an age where couch co-op, age and distance from friends, where couch co-op is just not an option. And I have so many fond memories of playing Super Mario Kart, Mario Kart 64, My friends didn't like Double Dash, but I sure did, and I really liked the Wii version, the 3DS version, the DS version, even the Game Boy Advance version, which people seem to hate. I've never had a bad time with a Mario Kart game, and I love that each one has their own unique identity. So it's S tier all the way for me.
I have been asked by Mr. Miyamoto-san to read a statement. We at Nintendo absolutely abhor the horrible words and choices that Melee K has made this evening. Rest assured, if she speaks ill again of Mario-san or Mario Kart, consequences will occur. Mario Kart number 1, Diddy Kong Racing, Sonic All-Star Racing Transform number 2, All Hail Mario, All Hail Mario Kart S tier. They asked me to read. Did they read that? I'm sorry, Miyamoto-san.
Mario sucks.
No, don't. S tier, S tier, Mario's S tier.
Hey, the note didn't say anything about me saying something bad about it.
Oh god.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with Kay. It's good, but it's it's just too overhyped for me. I don't know. I still don't think it's bad though, because man, Double Dash is so fun.
Okay, so we got S from Zero. K, you said B or C?
I'm at C.
Yeah, it's C. Where are you, James, and where are you, DJ?
I am not allowed to give it anything below an S for fear of my life. S tier Mario Kart.
Okay, so we got 2 S's. What about you, DJ?
I'd say B.
B. Okay, it goes in S. Numbers win.
You can't compete with Nintendo.
Ooh,
Nope.
I can't
And
believe.
just for anybody tuning in, the fact of the matter is none of these games are bad. I think every game on this list, with a couple exceptions, are all in the grand scheme of gaming.
Arms is bad.
Well, I'm saying with a couple exceptions.
That's why I'm rating so many things C, is because it's like they're all good, but like Nintendo's got so many like gold stars that it's like, okay, if I'm thinking in the Nintendo world, anyway.
Okay, Super Mario Party.
I enjoy making people hate me, and nothing helps me better than playing Mario Party. And also, it literally takes blood sacrifices if you play Mario Party 1 or 2, which are my personal favorites. Mario Party is an S tier, the best party game ever made. Get wrecked, Fusion Frenzy. I love Mario Party, and I wish you would return to your blood sacrifice roots. S tier.
Okay, how do you feel about it?
Yeah, I think Mario Party is an S tier. If I'm talking about party games I want to play with my friends, if I can play Mario Party with them instead of Mario Kart, I will always pick that. I think Mario Party is a perfect collection of mini games. I think it stood the test of time. No complaints. I actually really like the new ones as well, which I'm surprised by, because you would think that's, a series like that's gone as long as it has would get stale. Mario Party is a great example of a series that continues to innovate. It's great. S tier.
DJ, how do you feel about it, man?
It's a griefer's paradise, so that's always fun. But I don't think it's perfect compared to some of the other things on this list. I wouldn't go S tier, but I would say, I'd say it's like, I'm going to be controversial. I'm going to say it's a B tier.
Whoa.
Ooh.
I would almost drop it down to an A for me, just because I hate the ones on the Wii so much. I hate those Wii ones. Excuse me. I coughed up some blood from earlier. But the guy that, the fucking character, the mascot that has the talking hat, I wanted to strangle him until I watched the life leave his eyes. Oh my god, that fucking character. Just hate him. So just for that, maybe A tier, actually.
Oh, and I just want to add, yeah, it is a bunch of mini games, but if I want to play a game that's just mini games, I got WarioWare for that. By the way, why aren't the WarioWare games on here?
We can add them because they should be on here.
Okay,
I think
cool.
we mentioned, we were gonna have Wario, but anyways.
Yeah.
I think WarioWare is really good as well, but I think that WarioWare and Mario Party are pretty much on par with each other with the level of mini games. Like, I think they're both really good. It's just WarioWare has more of a wackiness to it. But overall, they're both great.
Zero, how do you feel?
I'm with DJ on this. I mean, I got to give Mario Party props for inventing the party game as we know it today. I mean, it's a series, it's a franchise that's like often imitated, fairly replicated, and it certainly does give you the board game experience without actually having to set up a board game. The accessibility is there. And as DJ said, it's also Griefer's Paradise. But that's also like one of the challenges I have with Mario Party is like you can be skilled at the mini games, you can be playing the best, but the rubber banding in that game is so bad.
That's what makes it interesting. The chaos of it. You think you're ahead, and then boom. Same as Mario Kart, right? With the blue shell.
I hate the blue shell.
But I mean, like the weight in Mario Kart is like no matter what place you're in, anyone can take your place at any time. Mario Party just does the same thing.
I also got to add that I absolutely love making drinking games. I'm an alcoholic. I make drinking games out of everything. Mario Party was actually my first drinking game, and it's a freaking blast to play. We always have to have the ambulance on speed dial anytime we play this one, and it is gold. So just for the alcohol levels, it's an A tier because I forgot about the Wii entries.
Okay,
but I didn't forget about the Wii entries.
Yeah,
and the Wii entries could have been the best because they could rely on things that. And Jeremy, fuck you. I have won at Mario Party many times.
So where do you put it?
I mean, I'm sticking with that B tier for myself personally. I agree with DJ on it.
So we got 2 B's and 2 A's, right?
S.
Who is the S?
You're an S?
I'm S, yeah.
So we got S, A, and 2 B's. Oh. That means it drops to the B.
That hurts. Those first 2 entries so good.
Mario Party's better than Animal Crossing. I'm just gonna say that too.
You always can go back and shore up at the end. Like if you guys wanted to, that's the thing. If you move the S to an A, Devil would have to.
I'm saving my energy to yell about Fire Emblem when we get to the final part. Don't worry.
Okay, we already know where James is. Look at him. Metroid. How do we feel about it? S.
Absolutely fucking S. Even with the addition of Metroid Pinball, it's still an S.
Even with Metroid, what was it? The
Federation Force?
Federation Force, yeah.
Yeah, it's still an S.
And
no one includes that.
Prime is like its own spin-off. I mean, Pinball, Prime, I mean, all the mainline Metroids, I mean, they're all fantastic games. And the best part is like, well, Metroid and Metroid 2 haven't aged all that well. Well, boom, you've got remakes of both of them that, I mean, Zero Mission's
so good.
Yeah. Zero Mission and I forget what they call it. Samus Returns. Are just great. And Dread is. I mean, like when I played through Dread, I was like, "Is this better than Super Metroid?" I don't know.
The Dread name is so perfect because you do feel Dread playing that, and it's like I've said, I don't like survival horror for the mechanics, but I love horror, and so I love those games that are able to be horror without the survival mechanics, and Metroid Dread does that perfectly. Like, you're terrified, but it doesn't limit you in any way. Metroid is such a great series. Super Metroid on its own is an S series. It's maybe the best Metroidvania ever. It kickstarted the genre along with Symphony of the Night. Great atmosphere, great enemies, and also, if I do dare say, Super Metroid might be the best Nintendo story ever. If there's one thing that should be adapted for a movie, and maybe a mainly silent movie and more atmosphere like the original Alien, it should be Super Metroid. Best Nintendo story, Super Metroid. But that doesn't negate the other ones. Metroid Fusion is beautiful, and I love that story, and I love the enemy in that and how great it looks. And like you said, Zero Mission is so freaking good, a great remaster. I still need to play Samus Returns. I want to so bad. And then you have Metroid Prime, which is like, it's not really a first-person shooter, but it is, and they did it masterfully. And just on flipping the mechanics on their head is so freaking good. And then Internet Crusader says the only bad game in the series is Other M. But Other M is hilarious. Other M is hilarious because it's Samus is literally not allowed to use her abilities just because the man tells her no. It's freaking hilarious. Right. So I wouldn't even put that against them. It's a fun game.
controversial opinion as a Metroid fan, I think Other M is a good game that's saddlebagged with a terrible story.
Yeah.
No, I think with the success of Mario the movie, I think Metroid is definitely up on the block to be another one. Because you also gotta think it has a strong woman protagonist, and so they don't have to sit there and change anything. It is what it is, and it's good, and they can really, like you said, almost do like an Alien, but maybe not so, you know,
Violent.
on that level. Something they could have with teens and young kids, even maybe, but still have that same kind of terror thing. I think it's gonna be made movie soon. Paper Mario.
Paper Mario, I think I'm at an A for. I actually, in my own heart of hearts, think it's an S, but the newest Paper Mario kind of sucks. If I'm going off the N64 one, if I'm going off Thousand Year Door, which I think is one of the best games of all time, Thousand Year Door is fantastic. It's just they're all perfect games, but the last one kind of sucks. So I'm gonna go for an high A.
Internet Crusader, don't put that curse on us. Don't say Brie Larson's going to play Samus. Get that out of there. I don't want any of that devil magic.
Oh, God, no.
Good Lord.
Who
Oh
said
yeah,
that? We might have
Paper
to kick
Mario.
him.
I've never played Paper Mario. I hate paper cuts. They're really painful.
But you play
so
South Park, and you're like, South Park has great gameplay. Guess where
South
they got
Park
it
is a
from?
great
Paper
game.
Mario.
South Park is great.
Yeah, they got
I
it from
don't-
Paper Mario. It's the same
so
system.
Never played Paper Mario. It looks cute, but I don't like paper cuts, so it is it's a B tier.
No way. Paper Mario is arguably better than Luigi's Mansion, but I'm settling.
Get out
for
of here!
Paper Mario
Get
is
out of
way
here.
better.
No.
Yes.
You know what? Just for that, the void. Paper Mario is in the void because of the absolute disrespect
Get out of
of
here.
Luigi's Mansion.
No.
Oh, look, we're one-dimensional characters and we're made out of paper for no reason. Whoopity-doo. Yay.
Mario
Oh,
RPG is better than Paper Mario.
There you go.
That's a debate in itself that I don't think we have time for because I kind of could agree with that, but it's tough.
Okay,
Thousand Year Door is just such a good game. It's like if I was rating it just on Thousand Year Door, this is an automatic S tier, but because it started to taper off and not be as good, I can't give it S. It's an A.
So we got A and a B. Zero, where are you, man? You're muted.
Sorry, I'm trying to crank out a video here.
Multitasking.
I always do. You'll love it when I have it ready. But I'm gonna go B. I love and I appreciate the many of the entries in the Paper Mario franchise. I think Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga or the Mario and Luigi games are the superior Mario RPGs because
Agreed.
they took away the monotony of turn. And again, I don't dislike turn-based battles, but they added like a special sauce to it. Not to say Paper Mario didn't have its own character. And God, if we were ranking, the first Paper Mario game and the one that came out on Wii, was that Super Paper Mario? Super Paper Mario is like an S tier game for me. But I just think it goes down to a B because I can't say it's on the same page as even Earthbound, and I already said my piece on Earthbound. And knowing Super Mario knowing Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga exists, I just think that has to rank above it. Same deal. Spoiler alert, I'm going to put the Pokemon series as an A. I can't have it on the same page as Pokemon for me.
Okay, so
So
we got
I
it's a
think
B.
my boy Spike is in one of the Paper Marios. Love Spike, Spike Gang, Spike Bros Rise Up. Love that character. He's my homie for life. Therefore, B for me, just for Spike.
So we got two B's and an A. DJ, where are you, man?
I'm going with B on this one. I don't really care for the Paper Mario games. I think Superstar Saga or the Mario and Luigi games and Mario RPG are better.
Okay.
Y'all are crazy.
She's definitely
I'll
gonna
save the
maybe
energy.
also-
Don't worry.
She's
Fire
gonna-
Emblem's catalog tier, same with Paper Mario. I'll remember all this.
Okay, Pikmin.
S tier. Actually, A. A tier.
I want to say
A
A tier myself. The first Pikmin game was like again going back to that year GameCube launched. God damn me. I have reasons why Pokemon can't be S. We'll get to it. Anyway, that first Pikmin was like a breakout hit. It was like a brand new franchise, which we were waiting for, because the N64 era, we really didn't get too much in the way of brand new franchises from Nintendo. It was like, hey, here's all the 3D updates. Pikmin comes out and it's a brand new character, Captain Olimar. The Pikmin themselves are memorable. It's fun to experiment. It's a game where you're up against a timer, but it's really cool because it introduces alien and familiar things like, are you on Earth? Are you not? There was just such a really awesome charm and atmosphere to the game, and the music. It's one of the more underrated Nintendo soundtracks because it relies so heavily on ambience. Pikmin 2 I thought was a great game. It didn't land the way I wanted, no pun intended, but I loved Pikmin 3. Pikmin 3 was like one of the standout games on the Wii U, and then it got ported to the Switch. I have Pikmin 4. I haven't started it yet, but I've seen everything I've seen about it. I really like. Yeah, it's a solid A for me. I got to put it right next to Luigi's Mansion.
Okay.
I love Pikmin because I love causing chaos and mass murder, and that is something you can do in Pikmin. You control a tribe of these little tiny men that worship you unto a god and will bend to everything that you tell them to do. You can literally sacrifice them all and they will stand at you smiling and happy. You can send them into a pile of flames and they will get burned alive merrily. And when they kill something that is totally an innocent creature, they will bash their heads into it like madmen and then carry off its corpse to be harvested into resources. Pikmin is a maniac's dream come true. If you have a god complex, you gotta play Pikmin. Absolutely incredible game. However, there is a lot of mechanics in Pikmin, mainly the other Pikmins. I love Pikmin 4. I used to not like Pikmin until Pikmin 4. Pikmin 4 really brought the series up. Pikmin has always had little quirks that I don't like in games. I don't like time limits. I don't like how some of the things feel in it. I really didn't like playing them on the Wii because they hit motion controls, but Pikmin 4, literally for the main game at least, fixes all these problems. It's an absolute pleasure to play through Pikmin 4. I give Pikmin overall a B tier. It is an excellent game. It doesn't compare to the iconic status for me of like a Luigi's Mansion, a Metroid, a Kirby, a Donkey Kong, but it is an excellent game. And you get to mass murder, so B tier for me.
Okay. So we got a B, and what did we use, Zero? A?
I was an A, yeah. I think it
B and
belongs
A?
right next to Luigi Mansion.
I'm at an A as well. Yeah.
You're an A too? Okay, what about you, DJ?
I never played any of the Pikmin games, like any of them. I mean, I know how they're played. I've seen videos of them. I'm watching James play Pikmin 4 on stream. It does seem like my kind of game. I've just never had the opportunity to. Like, I've never had any of the Nintendo consoles that the Pikmin games were on when they were released.
Mhm.
So, like, I just never had the opportunity to experience them. If I ever do get a Switch, I would play Pikmin 4, though. It looks pretty fun.
It's the best in the series, 100%.
Just based on an outsider's perspective looking in on this, on just never having played it, I would say it looks like it's probably between a B and an A, and B might even be an insult considering how popular the series is. So I would probably go with A.
I do think it's a shame that the 3DS entry for Pikmin was a side-scrolling game that, like...
What?
Yeah, you never played Hey Pikmin?
I never even heard of that.
Yeah,
We ignore it.
You're all the better for it.
I literally did not know this existed.
Yeah.
It did not sell well at all. Like it pretty much is a blip. No one knows it exists.
I got some breaking news, James. When you went to talk to Shigeru Miyamoto in the other room, they're actually he released the footage he sent to him.
Oh no!
Ohio, Mr. Miyamoto-san. I have decided to do this video standing up as I felt it more appropriate, so that I could also allow myself to bow for your presence and such. Anyway.
Oh no! I've been Chris Chan.
Yeah. It's the new Rick rolled. It's the new Rick rolled. You've been Chris Chan.
The pickle man tricked me once again. No.
All right. Next up, Pokemon. How do you guys feel
Oh,
about
no.
Pokemon?
You want to fight? You all want to fight? Here's the thing. I love Pokemon. I love the characters. I love the monsters. But here's the thing. I love Pokemon as a kid, and I love the cartoon. I was addicted and obsessed with that cartoon. Love the series as a whole. Love all that stuff. The video games, to me, are dog shit. I've tried to play them so many times, and not only are they turn-based RPGs, but they are so dull and so boring. You heard me complaining about Earthbound. At least Earthbound is a challenge that makes me feel something. Every Pokemon game I've tried playing, it's like, great, push A. Push A. You did the battle. Go ahead, push A. And then 80 hours later, you beat the game. And I hear people have to do like the Wuzlock challenges or whatever, but like if you have to come up with all these caveats and all these
Nuzlocke
special
challenges?
yeah, whatever, that thing. If you have to come up with all these caveats just to make the game challenging or fun or exciting, that means it's not a good game. Because
That's not why.
design
People just
philosophy
like to
dictates
do
that
that
people
stuff.
will take the easiest path, and Pokemon, the easiest path to play this game is
Are you
so
fucking
dull.
kidding
It's
me?
so
That's not-
boring. They're so
Oh
boring
my
and so
God.
dull. The cartoon and the fandom in the 90s was an S tier. The Pokemon video games, and we are talking about video games, is a D. D tier.
Are
D
you
tier game.
fucking crazy?
Wow.
There's no
Hate
way in
playing
hell
them.
that's a D tier game. I'm
D
giving it an
tier.
S tier.
No, they are
And
terrible.
I will just go on the record to say I'm actually a Digimon fan more than Pokemon. I've always been a Digimon kid, but because we're rating the game specifically and not the shows, I'm giving Pokemon an S tier. But if we were rating the series together like that, I would be S tier Digimon and then way lower for Pokemon. So I think you're insane for thinking that people do those challenges just to make it difficult. It's just people that are going above and beyond. It doesn't mean the game isn't difficult at all.
I would rather stab myself in the leg repeatedly because at least that makes me feel something. I feel like I'm drooling from the mouth, like I'm like in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, and I've been lobotomized when I play a Pokemon game. They're so boring and they're so blah. Maybe there's a good one out there, but every
You need to
single
play
one
Pokemon Coliseum. We've talked about this. You need to play
I think
Pokemon
you'd
Coliseum.
I think you'd love Legends Arceus.
That's the Breath of the Wild one, right? Yeah. So I've been curious.
It's not Breath of the Wild, but it's you know.
There is like 300 billion Pokemon games out there, and there's all the offshoot ones. I have only dabbled in like the mainline ones. The only one I really beat was Y, and I wanted to put a gun to my head. I was so bored because at least that'd be exciting. So that's what I'm rating it on. There is, I think I would like the dungeon ones or whatever, the action RPG.
Mystery Dungeon.
Yeah. I would look, I'll be honest, they look fun. They look fun. They look
they
like
are.
RPGs. So, okay, if I'm assuming they're good, and they're probably better than Diablo 4, but if I'm assuming those are good, then that can go into a C tier. But if I'm talking about the mainline Pokemon games, which are the turn-based RPGs, oh my God, they're so boring. Pokemon, do we count Pokemon Go, by the way? Is Pokemon Go?
No, mobile games don't count.
No.
All right, then
it's
it's
like console game. And Niantic is the one that's doing the mobile. I would actually argue that Pokemon is only a borderline Nintendo product because there's multiple companies
Pokemon
involved
company.
in building Pokemon.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't like it. It's okay to be on this list, but at the same time, it's like kind of not really Nintendo.
Yeah, I mean it's a second party thing. Kinda like,
Yeah,
you know,
exactly. It's a unique
Rex-
situation.
yeah.
If
like
you
Rare
gave me
and Retro.
Pokemon Go, I would have upped it because I loved griefing people that were playing the game, especially little kids. It's like, oh, look at that. Oh, do you want to take my gym? Guess what? I have a Blastoise waiting for you. Push him down in real life and then take his Charmander. Win.
I gotta like say, like, for Pokemon, the reason I loved the series is because, one, it was the series to get me into RPGs. Like, it was just such a big thing on the like Game Boy Color came out and Pokemon came out in like the same period. I remember like Christmas '98, I got, or was it '97? It was either '98 or '97. I got my Game Boy Color. It was '98 because Game Boy Color came out in '98. Got my Game Boy Color and my copy of Pokemon Red. And the social element, like I was playing it, I was kind of getting into it. I loved the cartoon at the time. And then I got into doing the battles with friends. And that really and I don't really think there's any other RPG series that has like, you can take the battle to your friends and you want to go out and play the game and get, more resources and get better Pokemon to fight your friends. And I mean, that was just such a cool experience. Two of my lifelong best friends, Nick and Troy, we became friends trading Pokemon. We're still friends to this day, all these years later. And it's just, the social element of it just can't be understated. And then there's just so much character. I love the simplicity of the RPG battles. Yeah, it can be boiled down to rock, paper, scissors, but you can change things around. You can strategize. It's easy to learn. I don't want to say it's difficult to master, but getting, just set right and anticipating your next fight can be a challenge. I love the layout of it because, it also reminds me of Link to the Past, the way the cities and the towns are laid out. The reason I can't give it an S is just because the series has kind of failed to innovate that much over the years. And, you go from generation to generation, it's kind of samey. I loved it when X and Y came out because they finally, hey, you get a 3D open area to walk, or semi-open area to walk around in. Then they came out with Sword and Shield, and hey, it's finally your open world Pokemon, but it kind of chugs, so it's kind of like restricted by the hardware. I loved Arceus Legends because it like reinvented the wheel, so they are still willing to innovate, but I just think the innovations come few and far between. And I would rather them take like a year off, even though they won't, because it's such a cash cow and I know it's being milked. It's like the one series where like, you wonder like, why did they do an why did they do an Assassin's Creed every year and a Call of Duty every year? It's because of Pokemon and its success. But yeah, I definitely, I don't think it could be any lower than an A for me. And Pokemon Snap and new Pokemon Snap are just fantastic spin-offs, and the Mystery Dungeon stuff and Coliseum was really good.
I will add the caveat that I had no friends at all as a kid. I wanted Pokemon. I wanted to have Red versus Blue. My mom refused to buy me a Game Boy.
Who the fuck am I?
My friend, my mom knew that I would
I
be
was playing
disappointed.
Pokemon with the rest of our friends. Where were you?
I wasn't invited. You didn't invite me. And my mom knew that. So I was like, Mama, can I please have Pokemon on the Game Boy? And she knew. She was like, maybe you should just stick to the cartoon, sweetie. You know what? Meowth is your real friend. And so that did play a factor, is I never got to experience it as a kid. And even if I did, I'd probably have even more resent and hatred in my heart because no one would have played with me. You wouldn't have traded with me. I know that.
Oh, my Lord. So what is it, like 2 S's and what did you say for this, James? A C?
C.
Damn.
Well, I was an A.
Oh, okay. So
S,
A and C.
C.
Yeah.
Let me look up gameplay of Mystery Dungeon or whatever the fuck it's called.
Okay, so if we're including all the spin-off games in this, Mystery Dungeon is just, that is my favorite Pokemon thing ever. It's an actual, you know how everybody calls games roguelikes now? Mystery Dungeon is rogue. That is what Rogue originally was, where you go from room to room, and then there's like the tiny
randomized.
hallways. It's random. Well, it's randomized, but the dungeon layouts are what Rogue used to be. So it's the closest thing you could ever get to a genuine roguelike in the pure sense of the word. I was also a fan of the mainline games with up until maybe like Gen 3, I want to say. And I kind of fell out of favor with the mainline games. But again, even though they're not my thing, I know how stupid popular Pokemon is. It's not a C tier though. Like I don't know if I would give it an S, but I wouldn't rank it low either, even if like the main Pokemon doesn't really appeal to me anymore. I'd say it's probably an A.
Honestly, Mystery Dungeon looks so freaking fun. Is there one on the Switch? I want to buy it right now.
Okay, so I think we got
There
two
is one on the
A's.
Switch, and you should buy
Right.
it.
Right now?
2 A's.
You should definitely play it, James.
I'm loading it up. C tier for me just because this game looks good, but I've never played it, and DJ sold it to me.
Sweet.
All right, next up, Punch Out.
Ooh.
Oh.
This is a B tier for the sole reason that I went as Little Mac for Halloween one year. If I dress up as a character, it immediately goes up in the ranks. B tier. Also, Mike Tyson plays a factor in this, and I don't want to go too hard against Mike Tyson. Therefore, it goes up as well. The original Punch-Out is actually really fucking good, if I can be honest. And the Wii one is one of the rare games I liked playing on the Wii with motion controls. Rare, good motion control game for me.
And the balance board was fun too.
Oh, I never played it with the balance board.
Yeah.
Oh god,
the
that sounds
cardio you had to have to play Punch Out on Wii, man. After like the third match, you're like winded. You're like, oh crap.
Try playing boxing on Oculus, like the Creed game.
I love the caricatures in Punch Out. I love how cartoony and wacky everyone is. I love the great big fat guys in it. I love the weird characters. I love everything about this series. And you all were talking about let's get a new F-Zero. I would honestly love a Switch Punch Out. I would love
Yes, agreed, 100%.
So
we've only had 4 Punch Out games, like arcade, NES, Super Punch Out, and the Wii one.
There's actually 2 in the arcade.
There were 2 arcade ones?
Yeah, there was Punch Out, and then there was Super Punch Out, the arcade version. But it was really just like different opponents, so I guess you could consider it like an expansion. It's sort of like comparing Pac-Man to Ms. Pac-Man.
Mike Tyson's Punch Out, when those would count. I mean, just because Mike Tyson's in there.
Yeah, I mean, well, technically, if you want to argue like different versions, there's Mike Tyson's Punch Out, and then there's Punch Out featuring Mr. Dream. They're the same things, except the opposite of what happens today happened, where Mike Tyson was replaced by a redheaded white dude.
You know what? When it comes to Punch Outs, this is probably my series. When it comes to Nintendo games, every one of them has been good. S tier. Every Punch Out game is good. I don't care. My favorite is Super Punch Out, the Super Nintendo one, not the arcade one. Oh man, I played that so much. So freaking much.
I think it's a B tier, and don't get me wrong, I love the games, but I just think that it's hard to put them in S tier when there's not that much depth to the gameplay. You know?
Yeah, it's like I love all of the Punch Outs, and I love the world, and I love everything about them, but they're not like amazing games. They're all good, if that makes sense. They're not my favorite boxing games. They're not even my second favorite boxing games. Ready to Rumble boxing on the PlayStation 1 and 2, and actually Fight Night Round 3, which I will constantly bring up when I'm very drunk. So they're maybe third. I do love them, but they're like 7 or 8 out of 10 if I was to rank them on a number. So to me, that kind of is like a B, high B. I could bring it to an A. I think an A. I'm like somewhere in there.
I just say B for myself because like Parappa the Rappa is one of my favorite PlayStation franchises. And I'm going to bring this around. I love Parappa. I love the music. I love the characters. I love the graphics. But at the end of the day, it's all pattern recognition. I mean, there's not anything to the game other than, you know, knowing when to do what. And, you know, does that make for a bad game? No. But with all these other Nintendo franchises where, you know, you have to, you know, there's more nuance, there's more into them.
You could argue that point with a lot of games, though, that if you just boil it down, it's pattern recognition.
You could.
I actually like what Internet Crusader said in the chat. They aren't boxing games; they're action puzzle games. They are kind of that in disguise. That's a good
and that's
point.
what makes them great.
They have like a boxing disguise or theme over them. I still think it's a B to an A, though. But yeah, I like how you phrased it, Crusader.
Okay, so
I think it's I don't know. I think it's a B or an A as well. I mean, pretty much Extra completely voiced my opinion on it. I don't think I could say that better. It's like, yeah, they're great games, but there's not that much to them. I can be done with that game in a few hours and then be fine for like a year and not touch another Punch-Out.
Okay. So
Punch-Out is the heroine of Nintendo. You can touch it once and be fine. Right? That's how that works.
Okay, so we got an S and where was everyone? A's, right?
I think I'm at a B.
I can be swayed to an A, but I'm like in between a B and an A.
Okay, and then Zero, you said B?
Yeah, I'm a B.
Okay, I think I heard mostly B's, so we'll put them B. All right, next up, Splatoon.
This is like ARMS for me.
Very overrated.
This okay, I want to love these games. I want to love Splatoon so bad. I love the style of this game, but I have a bone to pick for you. Let me tell you something. Nintendo, you have a problem with Splatoon. On paper, they're so good. They seem so great, but Nintendo doesn't get how to do online multiplayer, and that's what cripples these games.
Hey, you get to play 2 maps today.
Yes, but here's the main thing really holding it down. It's not going to be a D tier, but the main issue I have with Splatoon is I bought Splatoon to play a multiplayer game. When I play a multiplayer game, I'm teaming up usually with my friends. That's when I play them. Splatoon 1 and 2 had this issue, which it was not even it wasn't a bug. It was just how the game was built.
Yep.
Where if you matchmake with your friends, you're not necessarily going to be on their team. It pretty much has a coin flip of, oh, you're going to be in the same game, but you're not going to be on the same team. And I wasted money on this. And just for that one thing alone, we played like a day and we're like, let's go play TF2, which is free. Like, why would we want to fight each other sometimes, be on a team sometimes? It was a total mess. I love the theming. The third one's kind of had meh theming. Great character design, though, on what's her name? What's her name? Talk amongst yourselves. Where is she?
So now James isn't gonna be allowed on G and G. So
Marina is your name? I don't know. I'm
I think
guessing.
it's Marina.
Amazing
sure.
character design. Oh my god. Amazing character design. Love her look. Love that aesthetic. Great. And that is like the Japanese version as well. That wasn't released here because they knew what they were playing with fire with this one. But great character design, great music, great theming. But they drop the ball so fucking hard every time. And it feels like it should be one game. But instead of releasing DLC or something, they will just release Splatoon 3, Splatoon 4, Splatoon 5. And it's like, I don't want to keep up with this. I'm old and tired. Leave me the fuck alone. So I would give it a C tier.
You said everything I wanted to say on that one. I mean, it's I like the single player, even though it's not fleshed out. So the story is just bizarre. I like how Nintendo-y it is, and I love the character designs, but I wish there was more cohesion to it. Like I wish that there was and it's so weird, like how the music is. Like it's some of the more memorable Nintendo music as of late. It sounds like something out of a class, like Mark Mothersbaugh. You guys know his music? He used to do like a lot of the music. He was in Devo.
Okay.
Yeah, he and Trent Reznor originally had a band together called the Electric Birds before Nine Inch Nails. But yeah, it's that online, like, again, the single player is not fleshed out enough, and the online, it's so restrictive. And as you said, it should have all been one game, not split up into 3. Like when Splatoon 2 came out, it felt like a remake. And then, they tried to do something different with Splatoon 3, but it felt like it should have been an expansion. And ironically, the expansion, the Octo expansion, felt like it should have been the sequel.
Yeah, it's so weird. And if I'm not gonna buy Splatoon 3 because it's like, it feels like one of those games where it's like, if I don't buy it day one, I'm missing out, because how long until Splatoon 4? It feels like it's just a year away. It feels like one of those series where it's like, okay, unless I love it, I'm not gonna touch it. I will say it is really cool how in Japan they have full-blown like VTuber Splatoon concerts or whatever, where the characters are on stage and it's like a full-blown concert. I don't know if you guys have seen that. It's kind of cool. But again, I like everything about Splatoon except playing it. So it's just, I have so many problems in the game.
So Zero, you were a C?
I'm a C as well.
Okay, what about you guys? DJ, K? Where do you guys feel about it?
I'm a C. I mean, same agreement with everyone else. There's way better shooters out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, James kind of said what everybody was thinking. I've never played Splatoon, but I have a really good friend who's played all of them. And everything James has said, my friend has said the exact same things to me, especially the matchmaking problems. So yeah, C, definitely.
Yeah, it honestly just kills the game flat out for me.
And it's such a cool concept.
Yeah.
And the mechanics are great too. It's just
So
I also add a pet peeve. I don't don't like shooters that have motion controls on controller. I'd rather they just had controller because I'm not good at motion. You can turn them off, but then the people that are really good with the motion controls, like they will fucking 180 no scope you, and it's just like, oh god, I just want to play with the analog, and you're like handicapped. It's more of a pet peeve. Like I also don't like multiplayer shooters that have third and first person because it's like, okay, well now it's a third person game because you see so much more. But anyway, that's a whole nother rant. Keep it going.
So,
Especially because
so
just
I'm
VOD.
so I'm the only one who's gonna be Vita on GG. Okay, I get it. Star Fox. How do you guys feel about Star Fox?
Between S and A for me, I think if we're considering everything in the series, it does end up at an A just because they haven't done too much to innovate the story. There are some really good games in the series. I think like the original Star Fox and the SNES and also the N64 one, which is pretty much the same game. Fantastic. Love it. Didn't actually hate the Wii U one. I thought it was okay. There's Assault and there's Adventures. They're fine too. I love Star Fox because I also love Star Wars, and it's like Nintendo's Star Wars. So to me, it's a near perfect series, but it's not completely perfect. So I think A would be where I'm comfortable.
How much can one amazing game hold up the weight of an entire franchise? Star Fox to me is Star Fox 64, with the exception of the SNES music is superior, but 64 is where it's at, and it's never been duplicated or replicated, and all they do is they make lesser versions of Star Fox 64. So I have to drop it because if it had one game in the series and it was 64, it would be S tier. But then you bring in all this fucking bloat to it and it brings it down, and I think to me Star Fox is a B tier because I only want to play Star Fox 64 on mute with the SNES music. Also, it's higher up because I love how every time Peppy says "you becoming more like your father," it fixes my daddy issues, and it makes me cry every time. So it's a high B for literally one game. It is the Linkin Park of Nintendo franchises. One game, I don't know why, but it's so good. D tier for me.
DJ, how do you feel about it, man?
I completely agree with what James said about 64 just being the pinnacle of the franchise. I love Star Fox 64. I love the SNES one too, but as soon as 64 came out, I never went back. What was I going to say about this?
You should go back.
Or you never go back.
Huh? What's that?
You should go back to the SNES one. It is really good. I went back to it recently, and I appreciated it more than I did when I first played it.
The only problems with a lot of the early Star Fox games is frame rate, especially on the Super Nintendo one, but the 64 one has that problem too. That's really the only thing bad I can say about them. Everything else after that, it's just kind of take it or leave it. I wouldn't say it's an S tier, but I do really like me some Star Fox. I wish they would make a good one again. I'm going to say A.
Yeah.
Can I include Bayonetta as a Star Fox game? Anyone played Bayonetta knows what I'm talking about? Okay, then it's S tier. Anyone that plays Bayonetta knows what I'm talking about. I also want to quickly say Star Fox single-handedly made me hate the DS. I'm a left-handed person. I know that means I'm pretty much handicapped, but left-handed people rise up in chat. But the
I'm left-handed too.
I'm left-handed.
Okay, did you play the DS? Did you play the DS Star Fox? It's unplayable if you're left-handed because you have to use a stylus and it does not work. Like I almost threw my DS against the wall just trying to play it.
Yeah, I don't think I played the DS one.
I'm left-handed, but I'm ambidextrous, and because of using a computer mouse for three plus decades.
Mm-hmm.
But I could not play Star Fox Command. I thought it was terrible. For me, there's like four good. Let me back up. I like the first Star Fox. I like Star Fox 2, which got an official release. I actually beat Star Fox 2 when the NES SNES Classic came out. Star Fox 64 is like an S tier game all the way, and I love the 3DS remake of that, even though it's just same game, fresh coat of paint. I even like Star Fox Adventures a whole hell of a lot, and that's probably an unpopular opinion because it makes a Zelda game, and you had the little Star Fox segments. Command is really bad. The Wii U one was awful, but I did like the bonus game that came with it that should have been Star Fox Zero. And then
Oh, yeah.
what was the bonus game with like you? It was like a tower
Happy
defense
one.
game. Yeah,
Are you talking about Star Fox Guard or a different one?
Star
Yes,
Fox Guard.
Guard.
Yeah. It's a B tier for me. Now there is one Star Fox game that I would like to include, but it's not a Star Fox game, and it was technically made by Ubisoft. Do you guys remember this?
Yeah.
Starlink?
We played that on stream,
Yeah.
James.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I repressed that. It's. I mean, we streamed it out of nowhere without any expectations beforehand. I don't know if I just didn't get it or if it didn't click, but it was, for me, it was not great. But we played it. That was why we did it on a roulette stream, and it did that thing of like the game is
played the
installed.
PC version, right?
I was playing the Switch version.
Oh, okay.
And it did this thing because it was like Ubisoft where it installed the game, but then it wasn't really installed, and it was like it's going to be another 4 hours while you wait, and you couldn't like do a lot of the stuff in the game, and so I just had a terrible experience with it. But is it actually good?
I have the physical one, and if you have the physical game that comes with like the toy to life R-wing and the little fox figure, it completely changes the story of the game to be an unofficial Star Fox game, and it makes the game a lot better than whatever the actual Starlink story is. A lot of TLC went into it. Yeah, like the franchise has had its ups and downs. I think it's a B plus for me because it's just weighed down by the fact that there hasn't been any new good entries. And I know that's a little hypocritical to say like, well, I'm going to give F-Zero an A tier, but Star Fox is a B. I just think it's like, at least with F-Zero, I don't recall any bad entries, and Star Fox Command is like a black eye on the franchise for me, and Star Fox Zero. So it just seems like after 64, it's been a little bit downhill.
Okay, so
But
I
not
don't
enough
think
to
Zero
ruin
is
it.
that bad. I
It's
thought
not
it was
that.
okay.
It's not terrible. It's just I found it meh. Like why not just play 64 again?
Well, also for me, it was the controls. It was just like, and again, as somebody that has a disability, like my left eye doesn't work. So for me, switching between the TV and the gamepad was just impossible.
Maybe we didn't get that because we played it co-op together.
Well, if you
so
played it co-op, then that's a different story too.
I think it was like one person was the gunner or something.
Yeah, we did co-op. Yeah.
Okay, so we got two Bs and two As, right?
Yeah.
So,
Internet Crusader said fans are so hungry for more, they're making their own with blackjack and hookers. There's actually a game I have been on the fence to buy, and you're probably going to see me stream it very soon, and it's literally just Star Fox, and I can't fucking wait. It is very much a black.
Not gonna lie, Star Fox with blackjack and hookers would be kind of off the chain.
All right, I'll say A if it's a tie.
right.
Okay. Super Mario Bros.
Do we even need to debate this one? S tier.
I have a question.
Okay.
Does it include the 3D ones?
The universe and stuff?
Galaxy, Odyssey,
Yeah, that's
Sunshine.
right. Yeah,
And also,
yeah.
does it include the new Super Mario Brothers games too?
I
Yes,
would say
anything
it would-
that's Super
yeah.
Mario Bros, I would say.
If it
Okay.
includes Odyssey, it's S tier.
We're
It
Super Mario World, Super Mario Brothers 3. I still think 64 holds up, despite what Mr. Skitsmith says.
Hey, DJ.
I agree with him on that actually. 64. I'm a huge Odyssey fan, but that's the thing about Mario is that there's something for everybody. So
Yeah.
it's like no matter who you are, there is gonna be a Mario game that you love, and that's kind of what I love about Mario. And I get heat because I love the 3D Marios, and those are my bread and butter. I fucking love them, and I actually kind of suck at the 2D Marios. Like I would put Donkey Kong Country over the 2D Marios personally. But the 3D Marios are fucking excellent. So it's like no matter who you are, there's a Mario game that's like an S tier for you. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I had to do something real quick. All right. So where we? I'm sorry. I'm trying to do something real quick.
Well, I'm an S. I think James is an S.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're all S's essentially.
I'm an S, but I think Donkey Kong Country's better. That's so it's like, yeah, they're both S, but I think
2D
Donkey
wise,
Kong
I agree.
series. Yeah.
Hmm.
But Mario to me is still an undisputed S.
Hey DJ, you got to remember to mute up in between talking because
Oh,
bad echo.
was it echoing again? Yeah, I can't.
For some
sorry.
reason, it was good for a while, and now it's back in full force. Sorry, buddy.
Yeah, yeah. I'm really sorry. It's like all over the place. All right.
Yeah, sorry about that.
You have
No
a
problem.
goblin in your computer. That's all.
It's James' fault.
Yeah, I'll take the blame. Fuck it, I'm already the villain. Blame me.
All right. So where?
I think we're all S.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
everybody's up on this one.
I think that's what I was hearing. Okay, so
I can't even fight anyone. We all agree. It's
yeah, start arguing about stuff. Damn it.
Well, I said my
Okay.
controversial thing. I think Donkey Kong Country's better than the 2D Marios. But it doesn't mean that they're not both S's. Like, I think they're
Yeah.
both in the same league.
Yeah, I think 2D, I agree, Donkey Kong's better. But then, to me, the reason I love Mario so much is Odyssey to me. Odyssey to me is literally Banjo 3E. If you've played Odyssey, you know what I mean. It feels like the transformations, like all the mumbo stuff from Banjo. It's so fucking good, man. I want that team just to make Banjo 3E.
They all right. So that's next up. We got Smash Bros. Big one. Where do you guys
Smash
feel
is an
about
A
this?
tier.
Only an A?
It's an S for me.
S.
I love Smash Bros. I really do. If you want me to
We're
get
named
into
after
the-
it.
Yeah, but if you want to get into it with me, you know what? I think 64 is a little bit overrated. I think it started everything and it was great, but I don't think it plays the best, and I don't personally feel like the new one is that great either.
It's
only
the best
like
one.
Melee.
It's the best one.
I like Melee specifically, and if I was just ranking Melee, Melee would be S tier in the same way that if I was just ranking Star Fox 64, that's also S tier to me. But if I'm ranking Smash Bros as a whole, the weight is completely different in the new ones, and I think that the new one, honestly, I don't even enjoy playing. It just doesn't feel good. So yes, you have all the characters, and that's great, and blah blah blah. But for me, Melee is an S tier game, and the rest of the series is more of an A.
I will agree if you say that the new one is an S tier. The new Smash is so freaking good. It's incredible. That man should retire, Sakurai, after that one. One of the best bonus modes ever in a fighting game since Mortal Kombat Deception's Conquest mode. The extra mode where you are collecting all the cards and you're getting all the characters and all the grindiness in that. Masterpiece. I don't even remember what it's fucking called, but it blew my mind. I love... Sorry?
Was it Conquest?
I think so. It was something like, it's the one where everyone dies except for Kirby because Kirby is the eater of worlds and he can't be stopped. And so Kirby one by one has to save everybody, and the game is so massive that it takes like 60 hours to get through it, but it's such a fun experience. Smash is the only series I can think of that does collaborations perfectly since the start. Yeah, they're not all perfect games, but they all... I actually hate the Wii one. I can't fucking stand, what is it, Brawl?
I like Brawl.
The story was decent in Wii, like up until you get to the final boss. It's a pretty decent single player adventure.
I just hate playing Brawl. Similar to what you have an issue with the new one. That's how
Spirit.
I feel playing Brawl.
Spirit
Spirit mode. Yes,
Yeah.
thank you. I don't like I hate Fortnite, and I hate how they do their collaborations because it's like, oh, I can play Anakin Skywalker, but he's like flossing and building houses. What the hell? Smash Brothers somehow has a huge video game collaboration, but all the characters in it feel authentic to themselves and their brand. You don't see Banjo-Kazooie flossing or anything. You don't see Mega Man doing the gritty or whatever. Everything feels authentic to them. So just for the fact that it is probably the best video game collaboration in the history of video games, it's an S tier.
And
You
all
could
the
convince
music-
me to an S tier, but I still feel it's an A.
The fact that it has a mode in the Switch version to allow you to just listen to the music and turn the screen off.
There's so much love in that game, man.
I think it's an S tier because it's one of the most, and I want to use accessibility in the correct term, not Last of Us 2, press X to win, or, arachnophobia modes. Smash reminds me of the NES days, and I'm probably, I don't know if I'm older than you or not, DJ, but I'm, I'm old, and I grew up in a time period where the NES was a very simple system to pick up, very easy to learn, difficult to master, and I see Smash as that, where I've had family gatherings at my cousin's house, and her son is 10, and he and his younger sister are avid Smash players. And I've seen family hop in and play the games, and it's like, oh my god, all these characters are here. Who do I pick? There's something in it for everybody, and I'm primarily talking about Smash Ultimate here, but it does something special in this day and age. And even going back to Brawl, Brawl came out during like the time when I would visit friends in college, and we put so many hours into that game. Melee is an S tier game. I put so many hours. Like again, like when Melee came out, it was like right before Pikmin. I had Luigi's Mansion. I had Rogue Leader. I had Monkey Ball, Smash Brothers Melee. I was in like hog heaven with my GameCube, which is 5 games, and that was like one of the finest periods of gaming for me. Just all the amount of time that I put into those games. 64 it's dated, but it's still very playable. Like when the last MagFest I was at, there was a 64 tournament, and I sat down and I really just started replaying Smash 64, and I'm like, wow, this was a really balanced game. It's tight, it doesn't offer as much, but it still holds up. It's just slower. All the games have their own unique personality, and I think they work. I think the weakest entries are probably Brawl because like the tripping and that sort of stuff. And the 3DS version just was definitely a downgrade from the Wii U version.
It's amazing how it ran at 60 though, right? On
yeah,
the 3DS,
it is.
Like consistent 30, and modern the fucking PS5 can't do that for a bunch of their games. But
right.
Nintendo got it running at 60.
It's an S tier for me just because the amount of time that I've put into it, the amount of people that I've played with. You're not going to play against somebody that plays like anybody else. I've played a lot of Street Fighter 2 in my day, a lot of Mortal Kombat in my day, and I'm like, oh, this person fights like this person. Everybody that plays Smash is a different main, and even if they have a different main, they're still not going to play the same as somebody else. And I really appreciate that about it. I just have so many good experiences. The only thing I would take it down on peg is just like any other Nintendo franchise. They haven't figured out the online, and that's one of the things that takes away from it. But we're not ranking we're not ranking it based on that. So it's an S tier for me.
I would argue we kind of are ranking it on that though, because playability is a part of it, right? And that's a feature in the game.
It is, but I mean, there's no Nintendo game on here like that. We gave Mario Kart an S, and Mario Kart is probably the best running of all of their online games. Granted, like when we were playing, we were trying to do Mario Kart, and they were like, "Oh, we're gonna disconnect."
Oh, the idling issue.
Yeah. So
if you're going to include internet connectivity, you need to drop every single Nintendo game down a peg, because with the exception of like Mario Kart, every game runs like shit online. Like me and my buddy,
I'm just saying it should be a factor though, because like with Smash Bros, it's about playing with other people.
Well, you can, and you have to use their app to matchmake, and that's an annoyance. That's kind of a headache. And then if you want to have a good voice chat experience, you got to use Discord because their app sucks. I hate their
we brought
app.
this all up with Splatoon, and that's why Splatoon ended up as a C.
Splatoon is limited though. Like Splatoon
is Smash a fighter?
Smash is a fighter.
All right, here's the thing. Every single fighting game I have ever played has fucking terrible online. I've never had a good experience. There's always like a little bit of input delay or a little bit of connectivity issues. So I would negate caring about the online until I play a good online fighting game, because they have
Street Fighter 6.
Okay, I didn't play that one. But my experience, that's what it is. And also, Kay, I'll fight you because it's fun, but also two, you were talking about 64 not holding up. To me, Smash 64 is similar to how I'm a Mortal Kombat fan, and I look at Mortal Kombat 1. It's like kind of almost like its roots, and it's like it's still playable, it's still fine. It doesn't feel as polished yet, but it's like this is like the framework. This is like the blueprint where it started, and then it evolved and got better and better. And then the Wii one,
innovative. it's innovative and I can appreciate it for what it is, but I don't think it's that great of a Smash Bros. Game. And even when I played it at the time when it first came out, I didn't think it was perfect. I didn't fall in love with the series until Melee, and I have not loved it nearly as much since Melee. So I think 64, like, I get your argument with, like, oh, well, obviously the first game in the series walks so the rest can run or whatever, right? Like, I get that. But I don't think Smash 64 is as great of a game as everyone says.
You
I
love
think
Soul
that-
Calibur. Smash is like Soul
Well,
Egg.
Yeah.
Right, but I
That's fair.
think, well, we're not rating Soul Calibur, so ask me later about my opinion on that if anyone wants to know. But I can get into a rant about that too, and it'd be very similar.
No, don't. Don't.
Ask me on another stream. If you guys want to know my opinion on Soul Calibur, go ahead. But this is
No.
Jeremy is taking notes right now.
DJ, what do you
Yeah,
think?
I am going on Dermy's show.
Yeah,
later,
we need to hear from
so-
DJ. I want to hear what DJ has to say here.
Oh, so, for the record, extra, I'm 44, so I'm an old man when it
You
comes
got
to
me,
video
yeah.
games. Yeah. So I totally agree with what Extra was saying about it. That it does kind of harken back to the NES game days of, it's an easy game to learn the basics, but if you want to play at a pro level, it's incredibly difficult. There's a lot that you have to learn, especially with Melee. By the way, Smash Brothers Melee, definitely S tier, best in the series.
Yeah.
Hell
The
yes.
other entries are good too. Brawl is probably the weakest link of all of them. I've played almost all of them. Like, I even had a friend come over and he played Ultimate with me, and I didn't think it was that bad, but it's not as good as Melee. But yeah, it's the fact that it's such a love letter to Nintendo franchises, and then starting with Brawl, really like video game franchises in general. It should be an S tier. Even if the connectivity or the matchmaking isn't the greatest on Nintendo games, it should be an S tier for what it stands for with video games and what, like, how popular it is, how well it's sold. The fact that it's still being like, it still has tournaments at Evo for Melee. It deserves it.
Okay.
Smash and Nintendo literally respect the IPs they get as guests, like
They do.
Banjo, more than Microsoft does, more than the people that own those IPs that they're loaning out to Nintendo. Like, when I love Banjo so much, and when I see Banjo, he's my main in the latest Smash, which is my favorite. Just seeing him in there, it's like, can you just fucking sell Banjo to Nintendo already? Like, they get it. And so, I mean, yeah, it's like no question for me. Just out of the respect, Smash is an S.
All right.
What the hell is this?
Legend of Starfy? I have no idea, but
It's pretty much like a game if you took the star that Kirby rides and it was its own character. It's got the like wackiness of the villains that Kirby has, like kind of Kirby Earthbound type villains, and the gameplay is very platformy.
It's by
Okay.
HAL Laboratories too, so it's the same people who make Kirby.
Exactly, it's got that same like Kirby feeling to it.
Yeah,
I want to see a fight to the death between Starfy and Rystar, like an
I
all-out
was
bare
just
knuckle
thinking-
brawl. Murder
next
each
Smash update.
But yeah, I know about these ones because of my wife. She's like super big into the Starfy games. They're really good. I don't know if they're as good as Mario or even as good as Kirby, but in their own right, they're really cute games. I'd say Starfy is probably a B tier solid.
How do I play them? Is there like any
It's a
non-portable?
DS type game.
Is like
Primarily it was in Japan, and then the DS release got localized. I never picked it up. I think it was a late release into the DS's lifespan, if I'm not,
yeah, it's
mistaken.
mainly
very
GBA
quiet
and
release.
DS. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god, no wonder I've never
But
heard
James,
of
you would like it. It's one of those games that everyone loves the water levels in. So it's got a lot of that kind of, yeah, I think
it.
you
And
would
I
like
love me water levels. Love me water levels. I don't care. So, oh my god, yeah, I need to play these. I don't have it. I'm stumped on this one. I love water. I love splish splash and taking a bath. And he looks like a little happy shit that like is gonna kill everybody, just like Kirby. Like, he looks so happy, but I know he's gonna murder everyone. No knowledge on these whatsoever, so don't even factor in my opinion. But I'm gonna say B tier just because water levels and character design, and yeah, don't even pay attention to me.
I'm gonna give it a C. I don't think they're bad games. I don't have tons of experience with them. It's just that I get all of my itch from Kirby,
Yeah.
so it doesn't really do
Okay.
much for me.
Extra, what about you, man?
I'm kind of with Kay on this one. You know, again, I think we've only gotten one release here. When it came out, I was just kind of like, yeah, this looks a little bit more on the generic side. I know it was published by Nintendo, but I don't know if it was developed by Nintendo. But yeah, I'm gonna agree with Kay on this one.
Okay. Well, I will put it. I think that's Ty. I'll put it in C because I don't know nothing about it. Okay, Wario Land.
Does this include like this is WarioWare, yeah? Does this include like the GameCube one that is like a 3D platformer?
The Treasure developed one that's so overlooked.
Yeah. Does it like are we including every game with Wario in the title?
If we did that for Mario, I mean, I think WarioWare deserves its own entry.
Well, then let's go just Wario Lands then.
Or WarioWare, right? We're pretending these are the mini games.
This should be the 2D platformers. So even including the best game on the Virtual Boy, and I don't say that unironically. I would say, Mario Land 3 would also have to count in this because that was the one where you first played as Wario. Underrated games. I think that they're definitely A or B.
I think they're A-tier games. I mean, the Wario Land series is fantastic. I think there was a Wario game on the Virtual Boy as well.
Yeah, that was like a great game that nobody got to play.
That's like the only good one.
So I can find a way to maybe stream it from our virtual console or Virtual Boy.
You're gonna make all our viewers' eyes bleed.
Yeah, I know.
If you're gonna stream a Virtual Boy game,
that's the way I played it, literally with the headset on. So I really loved that game. I mean, just for that alone, I would give it an A. I think Wario is a really good main character, and every game that he's been in has been really fun. I don't think it's quite S tier. I kind of view it similar to Luigi's Mansion, where I can really appreciate those games for what they are, but I have to still say Mario Bros is better.
And someone has done a Virtual Boy Wario Land color mod, by the way.
Oh, nice.
I'm in.
So.
It's hard for me to talk about these games because the Wario Land titles specifically, I've played WarioWare and I've played the GameCube one, which is really good. Actually, I haven't beaten it. I really want to beat it. But the Wario Land titles, they're all like on my big list of games I'm never going to beat. Wario Land 4 especially looks so freaking good. I've only dabbled in it, so I can only comment a little bit. I will say that everything on the GBA for some reason is beautiful. I don't know what it is about that fucking system, but colors just pop beautifully. And so just looking at Wario Land 4 again, it's like absolutely gorgeous. The character sprites are gorgeous. Like everything about this game looks freaking awesome. Wario deserves more love, in my opinion. I'm kind of sick, honestly, if I'm talking about WarioWare. I get the appeal, and I get they probably sell better than these titles, but I like the bizarre platformers. I'm a sucker for Bizarro characters. Like, I love, what's the fucking alternate Pikachu? Raichu from the cartoon. I love the Raichu. I love Bizarro to that. I love Mechagodzilla. And so Wario being like the Bizarro Mario, I want more of these games. I'm going to give them, with a grain of salt, a B tier, just because they're good and they deserve more love. Are they at the same level as the A's and the S's? No, as far as I know. But yeah, I want more of them. Give me more. Give me more, Nintendo. That's all.
Wario Land Shake It was also a really underrated Wii game. And I think, didn't Studio Ghibli do the animation for the intro for that?
That's really cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, somebody did. Let me fact check myself on that.
It makes sense. I'm looking at it right now, and it's gorgeous.
Wario Appreciation Gang. Repping the hat. Let's go.
Oh, nice.
Let's see.
So James is a B. How about everyone else? Where do you guys fall on?
DJ.
Pizza Tower, best Wario Land game. Just saying.
Can you include that, though?
No, it's not included.
Yeah, since I can't include it, I do like the classic Wario Land games. I would say they are a solid B. They're not as good as the Mario platformers or even the Game Boy Mario games, but they're still good.
Okay.
I think the song is only in WarioWare, but that Ashley song is an absolute fucking banger. The one with the lyrics. I think that's only WarioWare though, so I can't even factor that in.
It was Production IG that did the animation. The same team behind Ghost in the Shell, and what else did they do? Oh, Fooly Cooley was something they were working on around the time that came out. So, fun fact there.
Okay, what about you? Where do you feel?
I think I'm at an A for it, personally. I think they're really great games, but on par with Luigi's Mansion for me. And also, I just want to say, Internet Crusader got James and I a copy of Pizza Tower, which is like a kind of spiritual successor of Wario Land. Not by the same people, but
Thank you again, buddy. I really
'cause,
appreciate that.
I'm really hyped to try that, and it's supposed to be like very similar to Wario.
Nice. Extra, where are you, man?
Oh, I'm an A on this one. I really have fond memories of these games. I think that, kind of like what James was saying, it's cool that they're quirky, they're wacky, they're very un-Nintendo like. They're almost like what Konami does with the Parodia series, where they have this one franchise that exists to kind of riff on their own works, and that's definitely something that I like seeing, is just this off-the-wall humor in my Nintendo games.
Okay, I think it's a tie, and I think A sounds good because of your argument. Okay, Wave Racer.
I love this series, but it's 3 entries, and Wave Race 64 was great. The Game Boy game was very bland and boring, and Blue Storm was also great. But again, it's just like, what are you guys doing with it? Well, let me take that back. Blue Storm had great water effects, but the gameplay was not as good as 64. It's a series that needs to come back, but I even though I love these games, in the grand scheme of everything else here, it's a C.
To me, this game is the exact same argument as 1080 Snowboarding, which is the PS1 actually won with Jet Moto. That's right, Jet Moto was the competition. And you know why Jet Moto is better? You got to be on a Mountain Dew and a Doritos fucking thingy. Jet ski.
You're on a jet ski with grappling hooks.
Yeah. Sponsored by actual Doritos and Mountain Dew. It's the gamer's wet dream. So just for the fact that it's good, but the PS1 won in this regard, PS1 gang, it's got to be low. It's got to be like 1080 Snowboarding for me. So it is a C tier. Why would I play this? Though I am looking at cover art, and like some of the cover art's really nice. But I don't get the Doritos jet ski. I don't get the Mountain Dew jet ski. And after all, I am a gamer, so that's what I need in my life. I need more Doritos sponsored games.
Sony needs to bring Jet Moto back while we're at it too.
Yeah, why not? Sony, you need more games. What are you doing? You have all these.
Guys, there is a better game than all of these. There is a Senran Kagura team game.
Yeah, you win.
Hot anime women with water guns on jet skis. That is the one that you need to play. It's almost like Double Dash. It's so cool.
If those hot anime women were eating Doritos while jet skiing, I would never play another game ever again. We would be dedicated Senran Kagura streamers, and that's it.
We have tons of them. We'll play them.
Oh, I've played them. I have many stories playing that series. They're good.
If only there was Doritos. Okay, so where's everyone put it on the list?
DJ, I don't know if we heard from DJ on Wave Race.
Oh yeah, DJ, how do you feel about it?
I agree with Extra on this one, that the 64 was kind of the strongest entry in Wave Race, and I played that one a lot, and even my wife loves Wave Race 64, but that's kind of really where the magic ends with it. The handheld one was just there, and the GameCube one again was, it was good, but it wasn't as good, so I'd say C tier for this one for sure.
Okay. What about everyone else? Excuse me.
I'm at C, I think. Yeah, definitely.
Devil, you must give it a C. You're yawning just while talking about it. Maybe it's a D for you.
No, my coffee's running off.
I'm on Diet Coke number 3 here.
That reminds me, I need to finish my my little Krigler coffee ad.
I drink tea all day long, iced tea. I'm a big iced tea, so caffeine doesn't affect me the same way as other people. So I drink a whole cup of coffee, it burns off in like less than a half hour.
Cool.
Good Lord.
All right, so we got 2 C's, right? So where are the other 2?
I think DJ was also a C. So James
I think
and
we're
I were
C.
C's.
Yeah.
So Kay, you see too, or
I'm C, yeah.
No
Okay.
anime girls, no Doritos.
Yep, no
Exactly.
anime girls and no squirt guns. What the hell? Okay. Xenoblade Chronicles. How do you guys feel about this one?
Okay, wait, before that, just so everyone knows, that anime game I was talking about, Kendagawa Jet Girls. So if you look that up, that's a really great wave race game. Anyways, Xenoblade Chronicles is such a like convoluted anime JRPG. I don't hate it, but it's just like so hard to get into. What I remember from the games is like there's two like pretty much it's like a mecha Godzilla type fight where it's like the Earth versus like something. It's like all eco-terrorism type storyline. And then those big creatures stop fighting and they're like Attack on Titan size. They stop fighting and then like life grows on those creatures. And then the creatures that grow on that start fighting. And it's like pretty much mecha stuff versus humans. And there's anime girls that turn into sword spirits. And
Yep, that's why I like it.
It's like That's So Raven of like video games because Shulk can like see the future. It's very confusing and weird. Gameplay feels fine.
Xenoblade.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm probably at a B because I haven't given it enough of a chance. I can see it being good, but it's just one of those like games that kind of pass me by, and I'm like, this is way too confusing. I'm good.
I don't like anime. I don't like turn. It's not. Is it turn-based?
No.
Okay.
No, it's not. It's not.
I might actually love this game. I need to play it. I bought it, but all I know about it is it's anime, which gets me a downvote. But what gets me an upvote is the fact that you literally wield women as swords. Attractive women become your swords, folks. Just for that alone, it's got to be good, right? So I don't know. I really got to play this game. I got to know more about it. I think it sits at a high C from the little I know, but it's a grain of salt opinion. It's on my list. I've bought it. I don't know. But yeah, you get to wield pretty women around and smack them into people to do damage.
To answer Internet Crusader, it is like a 120-hour game. Like the side missions, like rival Witcher 3. Like there's so many side missions. It's crazy.
Yeah, jeez.
I wanted to like this franchise a lot. So back on the Wii, I got the first one, and I just couldn't get into it. And I thought, well, back when it came out, I had a lot going on. I couldn't really give it the time of day. The Wii U comes around, and I got Xenoblade Chronicles X because, like, I love mechs. I love giant robots. Playing that game, I just couldn't get into it. Then Xenoblade Chronicles 2 comes out around the time of the Switch launch. I think it was the second year game. And I was like, okay, well, I like the direction that this one's going in. Same deal. Couldn't get into it. And then, the old saying, fool me once, fool me twice, fool me thrice. Well, they remastered Xenoblade Chronicles on the Switch, and I briefly owned it, and I still could not get into it. So 4 attempts, I just could not get into these characters, could not get into the gameplay. It's not turn-based, it's an action game, it's an action RPG, but just none of it did anything for me. I'd rather play something like Nier. And Nier has an equally convoluted story, but goddamn it, though, I love that setting, love the pacing, love the combat. I feel like if Xenoblade Chronicles had better combat that didn't feel like you were playing an MMO, I would enjoy it more. I was like playing the 3 of them I played. I'm like, this feels like Guild Wars, but not in a great way. Maybe that's just me, or like Final Fantasy 12, which is probably my least favorite Final Fantasy, not counting the online ones. Did I say something that killed James inside, or is he tired? I don't know.
No, I am prepping for the next one. I'm listening, buddy. I'm Batman prepping.
It's a C- for me.
Okay, so where did everyone put it?
I agree with
extra C.
Yeah,
I was gonna give it a B, but it's a C.
DJ, do you have any thoughts on it?
Yeah, do you have any thoughts?
For me, this goes in the void. I've never played any of them, and I don't really know enough about them to have an opinion.
Okay, so I guess a C. All right, next up, the one that James is salivating for, Zelda.
Are you ready for this?
S-tier.
Are you ready for this? Oh, S tier. You think S tier, huh?
Well.
You think S tier, huh?
Undisputed
Guess
S-tier.
what? There's 2 good games in the series. Zelda is a C tier. Those two games are the warrior games in the series.
We're not gonna. Oh my god. No.
Zelda is a B tier. It is the most overrated Nintendo franchise ever. Darksiders is a better Zelda franchise.
Get out of here!
I would
You're...
give it.
No.
I would give it a D. I would give it the D if it wasn't for the Warriors franchise holding Zelda up by the
that's when
ranks.
the marriage broke.
Your best. Losers always whine about their best. Winners go home and fuck the prom queen.
I don't know the context, but I love you, Sean Connery. You're a god among men. Zelda, to me, the most I love Nintendo, the most overrated Zelda or Nintendo franchise. Yeah, it's got great theming. I hate Z-targeting. I hate Z-targeting so much. They haven't revolutionized since then. And then you have Breath of the Wild, and oh my god, you break. Everything breaks, and I hate playing it.
You
It's not
haven't
fun.
played A Link to the Past? You cannot. Like,
Yeah,
this
maybe
is
that will
no.
be good. I don't know.
Like, until you've played A Link to the Past, I don't take your opinion on Zelda seriously.
If I
All
had
right,
three-
fine.
If I had 3 games, on only 3 games I could play for the rest of my life: Super Mario World, Link to the Past, Super Metroid, the trifecta, the
Yes.
Triforce. Yeah, there are games in the franchise that I don't like, but I respect that they're good. I Zelda 2, I think, just that's like my childhood trauma game, just because it's like I wanted to love it. And like when you're a kid in the early 90s, late 80s, I think it was early 90s. It's like, man, you got to play that game. You got to hope that it gets good. That never happened with Zelda 2 for him, but I love the first Legend of Zelda. I still think it holds up. When I got that little Game & Watch, I played the hell out of the original Legend of Zelda. All the Game Boy entries are fantastic. Every single one of them. Spirit Tracks and Ghost Train, or I think it was not Spirit Tracks and Ghost Train, whatever the two spin-offs of Wind Waker are, and goddamn Wind Waker's an S tier game. Ocarina of Time's an S tier game.
S
It's Breath of the Wild. Oh, go ahead, DJ.
It's Spirit Tracks and Phantom Hourglass, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And those games, I appreciate it because they played like Diablo. Like at the time, I was like, I don't know about this. I want to use the D-pad. But like when I played them and they made sense, I was like, okay, these are pretty good. But they're not mainline entries either. Minish Cap, that's an S tier game. I mean, I could go on. I'm not the biggest fan of the one that came out on Wii, Skyward Sword, just because I thought it was gimmicky. But if you want to say that they haven't done anything to innovate, they gave you 1-to-1 sword controls in that game. They did something different. Breath of the Wild being open world was a huge innovation for Nintendo, and I feel like Tears of the Kingdom, while one of my favorite games of the year, was really more of an expansion to Breath of the Wild, being a direct sequel. But they have done stuff to innovate outside of Z-targeting, but the reason why they keep going back to Z-targeting is because it works so well. What was the one that came out? Also, the Wii and the GameCube one, Twilight Princess. That I think shows like why they really kept with Z-targeting to really hone that craft. Same thing with Wind Waker, but they both had their own unique mechanics in their S tier all the way for me.
Okay. S tier. So we got S, C. Katie said S.
I'm S.
And
DJ?
I'm going with Extra's opinion on this one too.
Damn it!
I grew up playing the classic Zelda games. I actually like Zelda 2, but Link to the Past is just a masterclass in games, and Extra's holy trifecta of the 3 games you could play forever. Absolutely. Even though there are weaker games in the series later on, I still cannot deny how good the Zelda games are overall.
Yeah.
It's an S tier, definitely.
Yeah.
This game series is like the most foreign thing to me. I don't get it. Everyone swears it's the best games ever, and then I play them, and they're the most mid games ever. I have never played a Zelda game that blows my mind, and there's so many other games that are similar. Sorry?
And play Link to the Past.
I need to play Link. I will stream A Link to the Past. I will stream A Link to the Past.
Finally!
When you finish, play Link Between Worlds, because
Yes.
I've beaten Ocarina, I've beaten Majora, I've beaten Breath of the Wild, I've played a little bit of Link to the Past, and I was like, I'm playing Fusion at the same time, and I threw it in a corner. Hyrule Warriors is really the best gameplay that I have played
Also-
in the Zelda franchise, folks. They're so good.
Play Cadence of Hyrule just for the music alone.
What is? I don't even know that one.
It's the Necromancer game, but it's.
Oh, I
with-
tried that and it made me mad.
Honestly, I don't like that game either.
I was tripping over my feet trying to play it. I have no style. I have no grace.
First phone I ever got, the first ringtone I ever downloaded was the Zelda. The music in the first one. All right, so next up, Super Mario RPG.
S tier.
Yeah, it's one of those RPGs that I think got, I mentioned that Pokemon got me into RPGs. I didn't play Super Mario RPG until after Pokemon. I played it in the early 2000s, and I was like, where has this been my whole life? It is, even if you don't like turn-based games, there's just so much character, so much charm. It's fun. It's a game that just doesn't overstay its welcome. If you're like, I don't like turn-based, okay, well, there are mechanics to make the turn-based fights fun, and then also you don't have to grind in the game. It's just a fun game to plow through, and the replayability is there.
Super Mario RPG is a great game just because it is a perfect game to distract you while your wife is cheating on you. Those combos in that game are absolutely perfect to numb the pain of reality. So just for the fact that it takes away the pain of reality, I would say Super Mario RPG as a standalone game is probably an A tier game. So thank you for making our lives better, Super Mario RPG.
Are you referencing Adam Cole?
Adam Cole, baby! Yeah, someone got the joke.
I was sitting there like, what are you outing Kay here?
What did I do? What do you mean?
A very obscure wrestling reference. Pretty much, there's this wrestler who's married to a female wrestler, and she keeps like flirting and hitting with the commentator, and it's really uncomfortable and weird, and it's not even a story. And the joke is because he also Twitch streams and he plays Super Mario RPG, so it's like, here's his wife flirting and sitting on the lap of this guy who's like overweight and old. What's Adam Cole doing? And it just shows him silently playing Super Mario, and he's like, oh, look, another combo, you guys. This is so great. So yeah, Super Mario RPG distracts us from the horrible reality of wives breaking your hearts. Perfect game.
DJ, what do you think?
Considering that when it came out, I actually skipped school to play Mario RPG. It's S tier. It's so good. My only complaint with the game is it's just a little too short. But I don't know. It's now that I'm older, long games don't really appeal to me as much. So I think it's in that sweet spot. It's S tier for sure.
Okay, so I think I heard mostly S's, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was an A because once the game turns off, you go back to reality. So you have to keep playing for it to be really good. So it's an A for me, but.
All right. Now let's hit out quickly because we're getting very late.
Yeah, this is the longest episode of Get Ranked we've done so far. So.
I'm sorry. I knew that would happen. I'll quickly say Mario Golf, great golf game. Here's the pro. It has Pauline in it. Pauline's the best Mario girl. I won't fuck Rosalina. Rosalina, you're a home wrecker. I don't like you. Pauline, best girl, best girl. The only reason it's not a perfect game is because it's not Tiger Woods PGA Tour 2004. So I will give Mario Golf.
EA Games. Get into it.
EA Sports. It's in the
It's
game.
in the game.
So I'll give it a B.
I did it wrong.
Okay,
I think it's a B as well.
B as well.
Oh, man, I think Mario Golf's an A. To be honest, I also include the NES Golf just because you could argue he's Mario, and then they did do a Mario Golf on the NES. But those Camelot Golf RPGs, man, those were so good on the Game Boy, and then the Switch version brought back the I think what was the subtitle for the Switch version, but I can't remember. But that was really good. It brought back Toadstool Tour was on the GameCube.
Oh yeah.
I just call it Mario Golf on the Switch.
So we got 2 A's and a B.
Super Rush, and Super Rush added the running mechanic. Like you can do like really fast games of golf. So like even if you don't want to play like traditional golf, you can just do it where you hit the ball and run, and it kind of like turns into a race. It's really cool, and it was really fun. So they added a lot of modes to that, and I really loved it. I just enjoy them. I know golf's not for everybody, but it's an A for me.
DJ, what about you, man?
I'm gonna go with a B for the Mario Golf games. Golf's not my thing, but I know it is for some people. So
Okay, so it's a B. All right, tennis. Where do we play?
Mario Tennis
A
is great. It has Pauline in it, but she's in a tennis skirt. A.
I can't argue with that.
Okay, so and where did you say, Kay?
I'm A tier.
A tier too. What about you,
Yeah.
Zero?
Well, I'm outvoted. I was going to say B tier. I've never thought the Mario Tennis games were better than the Mario Golf games. I think they have a lot of significantly weaker entries, especially that 3DS version, which the 3DS version and the Switch version I think are fairly bad entries, to be honest. And the Switch version especially has terrible balancing and the power-up system that doesn't land, and it just felt kind of the hit detection felt off to me. The 64 one I think was the strongest, and then I think there was one on Game Boy. Virtual Boy one actually was a good game, but yeah, Mario Tennis on Game Boy Color, the Virtual Boy one, and the 64 ones were good. The others I'm not a fan of, so I give it a B or a C personally.
Okay, I
know I'm
think you're
outvoted.
outvoted. Yep, A. You can play them both at the Mario Country Club. Mario Strikers. Where do we feel about this, guys?
C tier.
Like
It's
C or D.
soccer. I'd rather have football. Nintendo's too afraid of the tackling in football, so fuck them. Mario. I don't like soccer. C tier.
C tier.
Mega Man. Mega Man Soccer,
C or D.
best strikers game.
So, okay. So I Zero. You feel differently?
I think the Mario Strikers on GameCube was terrible. I had a friend that loved playing the game, and I'd play it, and I'd be like, "This is awful." That said, the one on Switch is pretty good. To average it out, I'd say C or D. I guess I'm kind of the minority on this. If I had my way, because the GameCube one I thought was so terrible, and I hated the art style for it. I would give it a D on that alone, but I guess I'll average it out to a C.
I'm at a D as well.
If you're gonna
I
do
think
D,
I'm
I'll
at a
do
D.
D. I'll do D.
All right. And
It's
DJ,
soccer. I don't care.
You were
Yeah, I'd have to go with D. I haven't really played any of the Strikers games, so I can't say one way or the other.
I actually think I like the GameCube one more because it was more simplistic. The one on the Switch, it's like they add too much to it, and I'm like, it feels like a soccer game. Leave me alone. I want to pick the ball and shoot. But honestly, it's like it's all blah. I would rather play any of the other sports games from Mario.
Okay. Is there any ones I missed that we want to add? I know you mentioned Yoshi Land
Yoshi.
or Yoshi
We
Island.
got to do like the Yoshi. I guess it wouldn't be Yoshi's Island, but I guess just call it the blanket Yoshi franchise.
Yeah. Yoshi franchises. Where do we feel for the Yoshi franchise as a whole? Any of the games?
It's an A for me. Like Yoshi's Island. They did the DS one as well. Yoshi's Woolly World. Yoshi's Woolly World was. So I'm trying to get them straight. There's Yoshi's Crafted World, Yoshi's Woolly World, and then there was one on the Wii that people loved, but
There's a 64 one as well.
Yeah, Yoshi's Story on 64. Yoshi's Story was like kind of a baby game almost. There's like really no challenge to it. It's just collect the fruit, you're good to go.
So
I want to make sure I have everything in here. So there's let's go into list of Yoshi games, make sure we got everything here. So Super Mario World 2, Yoshi's Island, Yoshi's Story. I don't really think we need to count like Yoshi's Universal Gravitation and Touch and Go.
What?
Yeah, Yoshi's Universal Gravitation was a Game Boy Advance game that
best game ever.
Yeah,
Didn't even know that existed.
it was a tilt sensor game.
Oh God, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yoshi's Island DS, which was the direct sequel to Yoshi's Island. There's Yoshi's New Island on the 3DS, which I did actually like that one.
Well, let's just
then
call Yoshi's Island then, because it seems like there's plenty in that
Yeah.
category. So let's do Yoshi's Island. Just to...
Yeah, leading up to Yoshi's Crafted World, which was the latest game in 2019. I really liked Crafted World because it started off simple and ramped up. It's been interesting watching James and Craig play Yoshi's Island. I had to go back and revisit it myself, and I was just like, wow, I still enjoy this game.
I honestly think I like it better than Super Mario World. If
Are
I'm being
you
honest.
serious?
I'm serious. I enjoy playing it more than Super Mario World.
No way.
Yes,
You're trolling
way.
now. There's no
yes,
way.
way.
There's
I'm
no
not.
way you
It's
actually
not
have
just
that
because he's
opinion.
here. It's
There's
not just
no
because
way.
he's here.
There's no way.
I like it better.
Look, I like a good troll as
Baby
well. I
yelling
troll
aside.
all day, but
I
there's
ain't
no
trolling,
way you really
bitch.
feel that way.
I ain't trolling. I don't scare.
Absolutely no. Just no.
Yeah.
Okay.
Super Mario World
I
is like
I
the best
enjoy
Mario
playing
game.
Yoshi's Island more than Super Mario World. And Super Mario World is
It's
nowhere
not
close.
okay.
This is not Super Mario World is not close at all to my favorite Mario game. It's a great game. I'm just saying, me personally, I have more fun clicking the buttons in Yoshi's Island than I do in Super Mario World.
Yoshi doesn't even deserve to be in the same room. It's like
How
not even close to as
You're
good
gonna
as
say
Super
that to
Mario
his
World.
face? You're gonna
I
say
will.
that to him?
I'll
How
say it
dare
after
you?
the stream. Don't worry about it. We'll talk personally later.
All right. So where do you guys land on where it should be in here? We got Zero
Yoshi
set
to
A.
me, Yoshi's a C to me, honestly.
Okay, so we got A and a C. James, where are you?
Hold on, he's holding me hostage. Okay? You know what? Yoshi just heard what you said about him. He's coming.
Oh no.
Coming. Watch out. We're in the same house. He knows where you sleep. Oh god, I can't stop him. Yoshi, come back. You're A tier. Yoshi, you're A tier. You have great games. I love you, Yoshi. Put down the knife, Yoshi.
All right, so
see.
we got
Three-
Toby.
324. Get that down to clip that.
For the prosecution.
Yeah. I think my
I
side's trying to
didn't
win,
threaten her
right?
life. Yoshi did.
The jury will totally believe
Yoshi
that.
It was the Yoshi.
It was
I
a
swear.
doll, damn it.
It was the Yoshi. It wasn't me.
DJ, where are you, man?
I kind of side more with K on this one. The Yoshi games they're all right, but like it's not as good as Mario World. James, come on, man. Don't be that guy. It's not as good as Mario World. It's just not. They're not bad though, but they're not better than Mario platformers. I would say it's definitely C.
I love the 3D Mario games. I just personally don't love playing the 2D Mario games, and I enjoy more not only Donkey Kong Country, but Yoshi's Island. I have a better time playing than the 2D Mario games. I get it. Super Mario World is great. It's a great game. I get it. It's great. It's actually one of the first games that blew my fucking mind as a kid. I remember walking in and seeing that, and I was only playing like Atari 2600 at the time. And then I walked in on my cousins, which, I should just stop right there. I walked in on my cousins playing 2 games on the Super Nintendo, and they were doing other stuff, but they were playing 2 games. They were playing Street Fighter 2 and Super Mario World. And I remember that feeling. I was like 3 or 4 years old, and I was just like, this is fucking possible. All the respect to Super Mario World, I just personally, I personally just don't love playing it. It's just, I don't know what it is. The 3D Mario games, I love playing. That's why I gave Super Mario an S, because it's like, no matter who you are, there's a Mario game for you. That's all. That's it. He's threatening my life if I don't say this. Help me.
DJ,
No!
That
No!
Mel Gibson movie, The Beaver. Did anybody ever see that?
The Beaver? No.
Yeah.
DJ, what were you?
Oh, I was a C for the Yoshi games.
Okay, so we have 2 C's and 2 A's, right? Yeah, I think it was 2 C's and 2 A's. Okay, I will say, oh god, Would you guys be willing for me to split the difference and put in a B?
I'd be okay with that.
I'll just yell at you on Dermy's show about it. So,
Okay.
Yeah,
It
that
goes in
sounds
the
fair.
B. All right. Then any other ones you guys can think of? I know you were talking about Wario, but like not Wario World.
Oh, WarioWare.
Wario. So I think two more before we wrap it up. WarioWare, and then we also need Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga, or the Mario and Luigi RPGs.
There was one other one that I think James would appreciate. No Captain Toad?
Oh my God! Yes, Captain Toad is so fucking good. It's
but
an
there's only
S-tier.
one game.
It's an
Captain
S-tier
Toad
franchise.
Yeah, but it would have to go into like the void with Arms. If Arms was in the void, because one Arms is not that great of a game, but also only has one game.
No, wait. It was on the Wii U, and then it got ported to the Switch, but the Switch added new levels and new features for S-tier. There you go. Boom. The Captain Toad S-tier. And I used to fucking hate Captain Toad. That was the fucking asshole that was always my rival in Mario Kart. No matter what, Toad was always right up my ass. Fuck you, Toad. But then you came and made a great game.
So
everyone's miserable. Look at how miserable you all look. You all look
329.
inside.
You said Captain Toad came in your ass?
Yes.
Is this the deposition now?
Are you sure it's not Saul's my lawyer? I think Extra is going to be my future lawyer. Or maybe my prosecutor.
I think I broke that one.
Oh, shit. Oh, man. Oh, that hurt. Ow.
I did really write down those two timestamps. I still have my timestamps from the Saturday show. I got to figure out sometime this week.
On that note, Internet Crusader brought up every white girl's favorite game, Nintendogs. Where do you guys rank Nintendogs?
Void.
Yes, void that. No, okay, so before we lose it, where do we do Wario? What was it called?
WarioWare?
You'll just do WarioWare. I think it's a solid C. I mean, it's no Mario Kart. I'm sorry, no Mario Party, because there's no board game element to it. They're just basically play these mini games with your friends and see who wins. And
I would agree, but have you all heard that Ashley song? It's such a fucking banger, that song, man. And they are super unique games, and they're super wacky and weird. They do get tiresome. Like, you can play one WarioWare and you're good. I give it like a B tier because, like, oh my God, that Ashley song. Someone knows what I'm talking about, and they love it as much as I do.
I know what you're talking about.
Thank you.
Okay, where are you on WarioWare?
I'm a B.
B, so 3 Bs. What about you, DJ?
Yeah, I'd say it's a solid B.
Okay, we got B for that one. What were the other ones?
So the Mario and Luigi RPGs.
Mario and Luigi. Okay, Mario and Luigi RPGs. How do you guys feel about those?
I haven't played enough of them, but from what I've played, I really like them. I probably would give them a B only because I haven't played them through. When I do play them through, I have a feeling they'll be up there with Paper Mario for me.
You know what's weird about them is, like, I have tried them a little bit. I actually really want to play these because I'm not into like more traditional RPGs or turn-based or whatever, but the little bit I played of them actually reminds me the most of any other game compared to the South Park RPGs that I really like. Like just how they kind of play and like the quick time elements about them. It's like, someone tell me, what is the best Mario and Luigi game? Because I need to dabble. I see there's one on the GBA and I love GBA games.
I think Superstar Saga was my favorite, but then Bowser's Inside Story was pretty good. I would say start with the first one.
Partners in Time is pretty good too.
Yeah.
Remember the Luigi Dream where there was like millions of Luigis? I love how creative this series is and how they really kind of fuck around with Mario and Luigi and they just try shit. Just for that alone, I think this is like a low B. It's not like, it doesn't hold a candle to like Super Mario RPG or some of the other stuff here, but I don't know. I might get, if I play more of these, I might have the opinion that I like these better than Paper Mario. They look a little bit more creative, a little more interesting. Don't give me that look. I had to hold back. I held back.
The 1,000-Year Door is one of the best things.
I really want to play that game. Give me a Switch.
There is a crossover game between Paper Mario and Mario and Luigi, Paper Jam. Funny enough, it's the worst reviewed entry in the series. I think 'cause it probably tried to do too much.
And Zero, you said B.
Yeah, I'm a B on this one, to be honest.
DJ, where are you?
I think I'd be like I'd probably be an A on the Mario and Luigi games. I've played all of Superstar Saga and Partners in Time, and I really loved them. I haven't played Bowser's Inside Story yet. I was gonna say something really dumb that would get memed, but
Do it.
I was gonna say I haven't explored Inside Bowser just yet, but I am curious.
You're Bowser curious.
333.
He's inside Bowser.
I can totally take that, James. Captain Toad, and then Captain Toad came in my ass.
Okay, where are you?
I'm a B.
You're B. And
I want to quickly say. Sorry.
Oh, I was at an A. Sorry.
Oh, you're A. So okay, so we got 3 Bs to 1 A. Okay, so B on that one. All right.
In the future, we got to revisit it. I got to do a shout out to a gold game. Probably the best game on the DS is Super Princess Peach. That game is so fucking good, but it's a standalone game, so we can't say Peach games. However, the Nintendo Switch is getting a Princess Peach game, so we need to revise this list when that Princess Peach game comes out, because then Peach will be have 2 games in her under her belt, if you will.
Whoa.
Okay. So I
wish
think
I was
that
under
was
her
everyone, right?
So we got Mario and Luigi, we got WarioWare, Nintendogs. I think just kind of goes into void.
Yeah, and then Yoshi's Island, and we got that. Okay.
I think that's everything. I guess this is our time where we determine: are there anything that we want to change, or are there any entries we want to change on this list?
Yeah, drop Zelda down to C tier.
Any reasonable entries?
I mean, for me, I want Luigi's Mansion at an S. If I'm talking about raising things up, I would love Luigi's Mansion as an S. Y'all won't agree with me, but honestly, I fucking love those games. Apart from that, there's a lot of things I would bring down into the depth, down into the mud, if you will, with me. But apart from that, it's really just the Luigi's Mansion deserves to be even higher than an A. But apart from that, I'm good.
Okay, I'll make a compromise with you. You want to hear me out?
Yeah.
If Fire Emblem gets moved up to an A, then you got to move Punch Out up to an A. I'd be okay with this.
I'm gonna veto this. I sit where I sit on Punch Out.
I'm okay with that exchange. I just want to say, me and DJ have a little alliance here.
Okay, so it's up to James.
I don't care. Do it. Fire Emblem deserves to be an A because those Warrior games are so good.
Okay, so
Sure,
we're moving
fine,
Fire
sure.
up and
Fine.
Punch Out?
Yep.
Okay. So
Fine, I'll take it. I don't care why you like Fire Emblem. I'll take it.
All right. Anything else we want to fight over?
I think Mario Party deserves to be higher than a B, personally. I think it at least deserves an A, but it is an S.
Anybody want to second that? Want to back that up? Are you
Which,
happy with Mario Party?
Yeah, it's really for Mario Party. I'm just dragging a stream along, but it's really those fucking Wii titles that hold it back. I'm fine with it being an A. I think that was my pick, was an A for Mario Party, because it should be an S, but it's an S because of those first 2 games, and then nothing holds a candle to those first 2 games for me. The latest one was really good.
Yeah. But that's just a compilation of the best parts of the.
It's a best of. It's like buying a best of Guns N' Roses album. This is the best album. Well, it's just all their hits. So yeah, I don't know. I'm good with it where it is, or I'm good with it being an A personally.
So extra DJ, what you said in that?
God. I'm still a B on it. I mean, I agree with what James said. It's basically the first 2 entries are good. After that, it kind of fell off a cliff a little bit. The Wii ones are borderline unplayable. Super Mario Party was okay, but if you're going to get Mario Party Superstars. But I don't think having that's basically saying the best of Guns N' Roses album is definitely that elevates them to an S tier. All the hits in one place, adding
Yeah.
it to their discography doesn't count. So I still say it's a B. I love those games. I love playing them, but I look at the sum of the parts to keep it at the B.
Okay, DJ, same thing. Can be.
Yeah, I think it could stay as a B. And in fact, I think this whole list where you have everything is pretty comfortable. So unless
Nintendo
someone
Land
can-
S tier.
No,
unless
it's
someone
not. Paper Mario needs to be up.
Nintendo Land S tier. Nintendo Land #1. Anyone else? I fucking love that game.
I was gonna say
Nintendo
unless
Land's a one-all, so
Yeah, I know.
we're spared. Because we're not going to argue Elebits either, because I'd say Elebits is a solid B.
I don't know what that is. I gotta look it up. Elebits?
No, I'm sorry, Electroplankton.
Okay, so the thing on the table is, should Paper Mario be brought up? So
It should be an A game.
Oh, yeah.
Paper Mario 1 is fantastic. Thousand Year Door is fantastic. The Wii one is pretty fucking good. Yes, the new Switch one kind of sucks. It's still playable. The 3DS one was okay. But overall, for the series as a whole, it's a really great
Jam.
series.
Paper Jam was also pretty meh.
Are we counting that? I guess because it's a crossover, right?
It's a crossover, so
Okay, yeah. I can't really
So-
comment on that one.
wait,
Go.
do we have a second to move it up to A?
I will second that only if Kay, you bring up Luigi's Mansion to an S with me. Otherwise, no.
Whoa.
Because I don't care about Paper Mario at all. I care about Luigi's Mansion.
I will let Paper Mario sit at a B to keep Luigi's Mansion at an A.
How dare you?
Okay, it's time for the Deadly Alliance, James, but you got to agree with me on this one.
Okay.
Paper Mario can go up one tier, but Earthbound goes to S.
Can I pretend it's directed by David Lynch?
Yes.
Okay. Because
Okay,
it really is.
Wait, you meant
It's like-
Luigi's Mansion, right, DJ? Because he doesn't
Well,
care
okay,
about Paper Mario.
Wait, yeah. I don't really. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
which-
like nothing
which-
in that James wants.
You know what? Okay. Luigi's Mansion can go up to S, but Earthbound has to go to S too then.
Sure. Fuck it.
Okay.
Fuck it.
Do you have all the
That's a
votes?
really
Do you
bad
have all the votes
decision.
to get Luigi's Mansion up to S though?
I think
Hold
We're
on,
just
that's-
making a mess of what we've been doing for the past almost
So
4
K
hours.
and Zero, how do you feel about that deal? Do you want to ixnay it? Because you guys have the power to ixnay it.
I don't agree with that decision.
Yeah.
Okay, so if unless there's at least 3, you can't have a move here. All right. Anything else that we want to argue over?
Otherwise,
Zelda
I'm
C.
okay, and I'll yell at you at 2 in, so.
Yeah, I'm gonna get yelled at by everybody in 2 a.m. All right, so I think we're at lock-in. I think everyone's good. I'm not gonna click this because I'm gonna get the pictures and add the ones that we thought of onto there before I lock it down. But all right, so there's your list, everyone. There's you guys' list. Take a good look. All right, and let's drop that down, and then we'll do outros and get poor Zero to bed before he passes out. All right, so let's go, James. You're first up. Where can people find you? What do you want to pitch?
Hey everybody, I am Melee James of the Melee Games variety. How's it doing? If you don't hate me for my horrible takes on gaming so far, Melee Games is something that me and Kay have birthed into the world, if you will, and is a multifaceted gaming corporation like the World Wrestling Federation back in the day. Whereas so many things we frickin' do here. What do I do specifically? Because I'm going to let Kay talk about the everything else. I mainly play games. I mainly stream the games. So if you like my crazy personality, if you like everything we've been doing, I will play games that you hate or you don't care about or you barely remember, because I play whatever I want. I don't go for the trends. I don't play Minecraft or Fortnite or whatever. I tend to stream whatever the hell I want. Last night we were playing Doom 64 until 3 a.m. because I just wanted to play Doom 64. And Paul Doken mentioned in chat Steam Roulette. No Steam Roulette tonight, but Steam Roulette is one of our popular streams. That's where I have a Steam account with 1,300 games, and every tip spins the wheel and randomizes the game. And some of those games are total garbage, and some of them are glorious. So it is chaos. If you want chaos in your streams, come find us. You can find us on Twitter at Melee Games, and you can find us on Rumble, Twitch, YouTube, even Kick, where nobody watches us. So come on, hang out with Melee Games and have a good time.
All right, awesome. Okay, DJ Axis, where can people find you? What do you have anything to pitch?
Hey, what's up, people? So I'm DJ Axis. I do original music and I do video game remixes. I used to be on Screw Attack like 16 years ago, for all the boomers who remember that. You can find me on YouTube, Rumble, and on Twitter. And that's about all I'm doing for now, but hey, who knows what the future holds, right?
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Kay, what tell us more about your channel?
Sure thing, yeah. So I'm Melee K, the other half of Melee Games that no one seems to know about. I hide in the dark. I just sneak around. So I'm kind of the person that deals with our eBay shop. So we've got a video game store for anyone in Canada. We sell retro games on there. So I'm the one you're talking to if you're ever shopping on there. I also organize the community events for Melee Games. So if there's a game you want to play with our community, please feel free to join our Discord. You can hang out with us. We do a bunch of stuff. I know Extra's a big fan of those. We've done Mario Kart, like we mentioned earlier, and there's other games we've done, like Duck Game and stuff like that. So we play all sorts of stuff. There's going to be one in October for Friday the 13th before that game shuts down as well. So if you want to play that game one more time, that's going to be the time. So yeah, we do a lot of community events. You can find us on Rumble, YouTube, all that fun stuff under Melee Games. You can also find us on Twitch and Kick under Melee Games Plays. James mainly runs the Melee Games Twitter account, but once in a while I'll throw something in there. You'll see a little dash K. You'll know it's me if it's about anime or something. And I also, just to make it less confusing, I also made my own little Twitter as well. So you can follow me at Melee Charisma, and you kind of get me bantering with James from that account. But yeah, otherwise, we hang out, we do a little trolling, we have a little fun, we like to play games. And on Friday, September 1st, I believe it's September 1st, 7 p.m. PST, we're going to be doing a first episode of Melee Town Square. And that's going to be a in memoriam of Xbox 360 stream. So because the 360 store is going to be shutting down, we're going to be doing pretty much an open mic type call. You guys can come in, you can talk about your memories about the 360 and Xbox Live and all that fun stuff, Xbox Arcade, and share your Xbox merch, whatever you want to show off really. So we got a lot of stuff going on. Sorry to talk everyone's ears off.
No problem.
And I'll be on Dermy's show tonight by the sounds of it at 2 a.m. Please forgive me for being super exhausted. I'm sure I won't be energetic, but I'll try.
I'm probably going to be sleeping.
Yeah, he's going to be sleeping and just being like, what's all this yelling? So yeah, that's me.
Check out their channel. Check out everyone's channel. To go subscribe to everybody. Go follow them on the Twitters. Everything, all those down the stairs. What do you got going on, Zero? What's up next for you?
Well, if you don't know me by now, I'm the producer for the Legion of Memers. So, again, I'm really proud of the show that we all put on Saturday. It was an amazing effort, and I urge everybody to go check that out. Again, this week I'm going to be working long shifts, so unfortunately it'll be a second week in a row where I won't be able to do any meme work for side scrollers. I'm going to miss doing that, but hopefully I'll be back the following week as we get work. But I will put something out there. At 008 right there on Twitter. Also, I do my own show for Figure Action Podcast. So my best research thing is I'm actually Marvel Legends, anything that's out there new and so check us out. And additionally, I'm on the team streams lined up for Saturday. Hopefully, we'll have someone cool to Sundays. So yeah, that's where you can find me. And if you do follow me on Twitter, I post when we're about to go live. Retweet things when we're about to go live. That sort of stuff. Give me a follow. Yeah.
All right. Follow him at Action. You said Action Figure Podcast.
The Figure Action Podcast.
Figure Action Podcast.
It's youtube.com/figure action.
Okay, because I was saying some of the stuff you were cutting out, and I was all like, okay, did everyone hear your name of your channel?
The theme of tonight has been mic problems for everybody. So Extra, unfortunately, we missed like a good chunk of what you said. It was like the first bit, and then it went ju.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so just follow me on Twitter. I'll share links out to what I'm working on. no memes this week for side scrollers because I'll be working. 9 o'clock Eastern. Head over to this YouTube channel, Figure Action Podcast, youtube.com/Figure Action. Try and help us get up. We're trying to get to 1,000 subs by the end of the year. We've been doing this for 5 years. We got the view time. We just need the subscriber count to get monetized. It would mean a lot to me. I know Transformers and action figures isn't everybody's cup of tea, but we do have fun. It's worth checking out. And I'll be here on Sundays. I'll be on the meme stream on Saturdays. So check me out on those.
Yeah, perfect. Okay. So like I said, go subscribe to everyone. Give them the love. And we'll be back here next Sunday. We're doing rom-coms. So ranking those up. Otherwise, have a good night to everyone who's stayed up so late. And we will see you next week. Bye.
Bye, everybody.